Oh, were you now? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and a very warm welcome to Clay Pigeon Raceway. You join us here for the finale of the British Universities Karting Championship in the intermediate category. Of course, we had the Premier class yesterday along with the Drivers' Championship. We're back again here today on Saturday for the Inters, and as you can see, drivers already getting ready for race number 1. My name is John Ratcliffe. I'll be guiding you through the action here today, and I'm joined in the commentary box for the first time for myself ever with Mr. Jacob Harris. Good morning, Jacob.
Good morning, John. I just realised
I said morning. It's afternoon.
It is, yes, but I will forgive that transgression. Yeah, I didn't realise we had commentated together before. I spent so much time in your company. I said that as if we like.
You sound thrilled about that.
We know each other reasonably well, but we're not best mates. Not that I don't like you, but you know. Well, let's just talk about the racing. Here's the starting grid for today. Then, why don't you talk us through it, John?
Of course, yeah. So race number 1 then for the Inters. Huddersfield C and Surrey A are on the front row of the grid, with Coventry D and Edinburgh B on row 2. Then Cardiff C and Lancaster C are there on row number 3. Row 4 will have Surrey C and Loughborough F, then it's UWED and Cardiff B rounding up the top 10 there, followed by Brighton A and Reading F. They're on row number 6. Row 7 has Derby B and Nottingham Trent B, then it's Leeds C, Southampton D, Coventry H and Nottingham Trent C. Rounding out the top 20 on row 10 are Coventry F and Leicester A, then it's Manchester Met A, York A, Swansea B, Royal Holloway A. And behind them, Leeds B, Loughborough E, Warwick C, UWTSD A, then York B, Warwick D. And then finalising the grid, Swansea C, Brunel A, Brighton B, Cambridge C, Imperial C and Oxford Brookes E. 36 karts on the grid for this first race of the day. And let's see if we can get it underway first time of asking. Not this time, we're going to go round once more. But looking forward to racing action. I mean, the racing was pretty exciting yesterday, wasn't it, Jacob? Hopefully more of that today.
It was, and we've got a very exciting race to start. 2nd, 3rd and 4th all in contention for the Intermediates Championship. We've got Surrey A, we've got Tom Law in the kart there, Coventry D and Edinburgh B. Cov D is Andrew Lloyd, and B is just Jack Agarwala. Yes, all 3 challenging for the title today alongside UEB. And it looks like we're getting ready to go, John.
It is indeed, yeah. 2x2 to the lights then for our first race of the day here for the finale of the BUKC Intermediate Championship. Already barrelling down towards Billy's Blind, and look at the fans watching on there on the outside of the corner. One spin, but immediately spun back round by a fellow competitor there, dropping down the order into the middle of the pack. This is a serious pinch point, and you see it is there for a couple of our drivers. It's going to be a false start, too scrappy on that first attempt.
That's going to be devastating news for Tom Law in the Surrey A kart. Tom driving in Inters for the first time this season, having won his first mains race last time out at GYG. He got a very, very fast sweeping line around the outside there, took the lead from Huddersfield C, captain Robbie Rigby, who put it on pole this morning qualifying. So you see Robbie there coming back to the front of the pack. Tom on the right hand side in the red suit and white helmet. He had about 2 or 3 kart lengths coming over the chicane of a lead, but that's another road.
Indeed, yeah. Robbie Rigby was impressive yesterday at the Drivers' Championships as well. Of course, some of these drivers having that little bit of advantage given that they had that ability to compete yesterday in the Drivers' Championship. So a few putting pedal to the metal already this weekend here in Club 100 karts, but that will assist them, especially in this championship battle for a couple of them. A little bit surprised because obviously we saw that Surrey B did a great job in the mains at GYG, but why would the driver drop down from the racing in the B team and mains to the A team in the Inters for this?
Because he's got a really good job.
Right,
and,
okay.
Mains was on a Friday, couldn't get the time off work, and today's a Saturday.
Fair enough then. Well, they need his help to try and secure the championship here today, so probably not probably a good idea then for the Surrey team then as they look to wrap up the championship. Right then, let's have a second attempt at this one. Drivers, 2x2, we head down to Billy's Blind yet again here for the first race of the day, and it's a great start from the outside of the grid then as they hook it up into Billy's Blind. A lot less scrappy this time, which is good to see. No drivers facing the wrong direction here. I don't want to speak too early though as they head into the S's, the biggest pinch point of the circuit here, especially on lap number 1 when they're all close together, but it looks as though they've managed to keep it relatively calm, and this time it's Huddersfield C with the good start. They're leading the field away then through the hairpin.
Not such a good start for 55 Cobb Dews in the middle of this 3 wide. Wide goes the Nottingham driver, I think. 55's still losing out as well. That's the newbie to the Cobb D team, Andrew Lloyd. The same newbie, he's a grad who's been roped in specifically for this round to cover for a missing driver, but not a great start for them. Tom Law and Robbie Rigby side by side going through the chicane there as well. I think Robbie Rigby came out on top and indeed tops the timing. So Huddersfield C maintain the lead in this first race. Surrey A though with designs on the championship, and Edinburgh B in third as well. Jack racing for Edinburgh will both be looking to make maximum points this race.
Lead C, we saw they're getting an absolute wallop to the rear end of their cart there through the S's. Managed to hold on to it though and wrangle it round that part of the circuit. And drivers communicating there, wanting to work together and press on, not let the leaders scamper away too quickly in this one. We have had quite a few penalties coming through already though. 2 braking formations, 1 for Reading F and 1 for Southampton D. And then a further penalty from Southampton D. They've got themselves an ABC bump and pass already. Now we did also have a jump start and a braking formation for Royal Holloway A on the first attempt at the start. I don't know if you know this information or not, Jacob. Will that penalty carry over even though the race didn't get underway that time?
It will indeed, John, yes. It's very rare that any penalties get called at the point at which a false start is called, but jump starts and braking formation are indeed the main 2 that would carry over and have been done.
That's an idea then. A couple of teams getting some early penalties then in this one. You can see that one confirmed at the top of your screen there for Southampton D, ABC bump and pass. Right then on to lap number 4 we go. The drivers already eking out those gaps, particularly at the front end of the order then. Huddersfield C, new fastest lap of the race, 42 dead for Huddersfield C. Sending that gap to about a second then ahead of Surrey A. We look back here to the battle for third place. Edinburgh B under pressure here from Cardiff C. I do believe the Cardiff C driver not actually from Cardiff. I think it's an ineligible in the seat for number 50 for this one. So either way, they're still entitled to battle it out there on circuit, but they're not going to be gaining any points for the team anyway. And there's been some good battling already so far in this race, but it does seem, like we saw at GYG, given that in the intermediates we qualify, unlike the mains where it's all random grids and usually around in the morning, around in the afternoon, 2 races for each driver. Here at the intermediates, of course, you qualify in the morning and then race in the afternoon, and that just usually means that drivers are more in the order that maybe they should be in, and that just means that those gaps extend a little bit faster than in the mains. It's a bit less scrapping and a bit more thought out driving, should we say.
Yeah, the skill gap we have in intermediates is larger than it is in the mains championship. The mains championship is all teams who have qualified showing their merit in November, whereas intermediates is kind of a mix of a couple of drivers who perhaps would be in mains if their team was a bit stronger in general, and a few drivers who maybe if they want to put it in a derogatory way, drag those drivers down. So yes, you do have some excellent drivers in intermediates, as was shown yesterday's drivers' champs with the likes of Charlie Oliver winning races. But then you do also have our very newer drivers, those who are fresher and perhaps have never even attended to a race meeting prior to round number 1 or round number 4 of intermediates. This very well could be these drivers' first ever experience of a race day of any format. Presumably though, watch the F1 highlights once or twice in real life. So Robbie Rigby still in the lead of this one and setting the fastest lap as well. He's flying at the front is Robbie Rigby. 41.6 for him. He's over 3/10 quicker than Tom Law in this Surrey A kart, who would be hoping to repeat his heroics from GYG. But it's not looking likely that pace at the moment, Tom. Let's see if we can perhaps just do that and move there for the 78. That's Lancaster C, being driven by someone in a distinctively Leeds suit. Lancaster C ineligible throughout the day today. They have from Lancaster.
Fair enough, it's understandable. I know it knew a few teams and drivers that hadn't made the trip down, sadly, but it does mean we're still getting drivers on the grid, just not eligible for points then. More penalties coming on through then. Had two in within 5 seconds, sadly, for lead C. An ABC takeout followed by a cone penalty. And then a spinning under yellows has come through for Brunel A, which is not a penalty that's looked too kindly on by the guys here at Club 100. You want to be in full control of your car, particularly when you're going through yellow flag zone. So not ideal then for the Brunel A driver. Like you were mentioning, though, the skill gap amongst the field is understandable for the fact it is the Inters, but it has made it very exciting. It did make it really exciting at GYG, given that the drivers caught some of the back markers within sort of 10 or 15 minutes of the race. And of course, in the BUKC, we don't have any blue flags out there, so it's on the onus of the passing driver, the leading driver, to get by the back marker. And they might not know that you're coming through. They might not know that it's not for position. They could start battling and defending with you, and that spices things up. We had the most amazing battle at GYG between the two leaders. And I recall as they came through the first corner, they were coming up on a group of about 8, 9 or 10 drivers heading up the Dragon Straight, blocking the entire way. They just couldn't find a way through. It made for some fantastic racing.
Yeah, speaking of blocking the way, our ineligible driver in Lancaster C is finding his way past Edinburgh B, the number 64. Couldn't tell you who's in Lancaster C, and as I mentioned, they're in a distinctively Leeds suit. But Edinburgh B and Coventry D, two of our championship challengers, we believe, in Edinburgh D. It's Jack with the surname. It's very hard to pronounce. I apologise, Jack. But Jack Agawala is currently running in 5th place, with Coventry D's Andrew Lloyd behind him in a bit more of a distinctive helmet.
Oh, that was a close moment. My goodness, 87 pulling across the road to try and get out of the way, and got straight in front of the number 74 there. Side by side then into the horseshoe they go. And this is a good little battle just at the bottom end of the top 10 there. Nottingham Trent C it is on the number 74. We were complimenting his fantastic Kingfisher branded suit at GYG. Looking just as fantastic here today at Clay Pigeon. Battling really, really well there at the bottom end of the top 10 with the 102 of Loughborough F. And just in behind them is the 87, that's Surrey C. So that was a movement for position then, those two getting past Surrey C, dropping them down to 10th. They've just been dropped down to 11th there. Oh, no, they haven't. Up and under they go at Billy's Blind, retaking that 10th place then from Derby B, and also Brighton A in with a shout there as well. Great battling here at the bottom end of the top 10, and they continue down into the hairpin. Late move down the inside there. Scrapping away, I think that was the Brighton driver. It was trying to get down the inside. Door closed though. Has to sit back and rethink that.
Yes, one of my favourite things about Instance is you mentioned the Brighton driver in a distinctively Nottingham suit. We've got the Lancaster driver with Leeds plastered all over him. Drivers like to pick up extra races from additional teams, and yes, that green and yellow affair is a University of Nottingham custom race suit, battling with the custom race suit of Surrey, the navy blue and yellow team.
One of the few who's actually driving for his own team.
Yes,
it seems in this battle.
Indeed. Just in front of them is a Leeds driver in the Loughborough F. To be fair, there's about a million Leeds drivers here.
There always is.
Of course, the 2-day event we're running. So it's no surprise that they've got, I think, 3 or 4 Leeds teams entered, plus the likes of Lancaster and Loughborough.
Even I was offered a seat yesterday for the Inters today. Asked by the Cardiff team if I fancied racing. It's like, don't think that's going to fly. I don't think we've quite got the comms hooked up in the carts just yet, but maybe in future, we'll see.
Yes, we have 3 Leeds teams, just to confirm. Leeds B, Leeds A and Leeds C in that order. Apparently I'm not quite sure how the B team ended up higher than the A team last year, but that's what we've got Oh, no, this was. Sorry, Leeds C.
And Leeds B, who actually knows the tail at the moment.
Oh, yes, it's because their drivers are the admin system. Robbie Rigby still comfortable up in front of this one. He's been running for 10 minutes.
I don't think he could be more comfortable, to be fair. 3.5 second gap at the front of the order for the Huddersfield C driver, continuing to put in fastest laps. A 41.3 is a pretty impressive time from Robbie Rigby. I think we saw one time yesterday in Drivers' Champs where a driver dropped below 41 to 40.9, but that was an extremely impressive lap. But 41.3, that is mains pace, leader's mains pace.
Well, we may well see that later as well, John, given that the winner of our super final, Jack Finch, has picked up a drive in race number 4. I'm pretty sure he's qualified on pole for that as well. Although potential for a penalty. Let's see who that spinner is down at the horseshoe.
I will say they did not apply the brakes there as they were spinning backwards.
They did not.
They quickly flew off the left-hand side of our screen. Exit stage left there for that driver, and I think they've thrown themselves so far onto the grass it's going to be a bit of a trek to get that car back onto the black stuff.
Perhaps they saw the cautionary tale of the awards last night and thought I'm better off rolling myself out the way.
There they are.
Than put my foot on the brake in the middle of the track. This battle is the 21. Who is that, John? Coming down the start-finish straight side by side.
21.
It's Surrey A.
It's
Tom
Surrey
Law
A.
putting a lap on something, is it?
It is indeed. Yeah, he's got a big gap between both driver ahead and the driver in behind. I will say, though, that gap when we just mentioned it between Huddersfield C and Surrey A was over 3.5 seconds. It's now 2.6, so potentially just Huddersfield getting a little bit caught up, overtaking some of the back markers there. Last lap was a 42.2, so nearly a second off of their own personal best time. But we do see that as the drivers head through the back markers, those gaps ebbing and flowing, getting larger and shorter as the lap's gone by, so I don't think anything too much to worry about for the Huddersfield team.
And here you can see the traffic. Robbie Rigby looking over his shoulder to see where Tom Law is. There's 3 carts between them, only less than 2 seconds now. But yeah, 3 carts to navigate for Tom Law before we can close that gap. Robbie Rigby here coming through the chicane. Slightly less experienced in the BUKC specifically than Tom Law. As I mentioned, Tom Law is a real boy with a real job, and as that would indicate, a graduate, so has gone the full course of the standard BUKC career, and he's at the tail end of it. Whereas Robbie Rigby is a relatively new driver to the championship. Huddersfield of the championship, but Robbie is the captain this year and has brought the team back to reasonably strong standing. They've got the A team in mains, they've got the C team here leading the race, but can he navigate back markers as well as a more experienced driver can?
Indeed, yeah, got 2 laps in the 42s. He's dropped straight back into the 41s now. 41.6, bit of a late move there to the inside from the number 39. Trying to get a move there down at the hairpin. Yeah, that's Brewing LA. Was that trying to unlap one of the leaders, was it?
It's trying to unlap Tom Law, yeah. Unlap from Tom Law. There's the 55 there going through. Still a decent result, 5th place for Coventry D. As I mentioned, that is Andrew Lloyd in that kart. They've been using regular drivers, Aaron Hayne, Ewan Ritchie, John McCullen and Jerome Phillip all season, but Aaron Hayne was unable to make this one. They still have Ewan, John and Jerome around, but Andrew Lloyd, first year grad, who's been called into this one to cover for the missing Aaron. Good to see consistency in a squad rewarded like that with the championship challenges. Tom Law looks to the outside of the horseshoe. Going to get the cut back here. Robbie Rigby not too far ahead of him now. John, the gap's 1.5 seconds. I think that's Robbie there in the middle of that pack, is it?
It is indeed, yeah. Still 3 drivers separating them on track for the moment, so it's just who can pick their way through the best here, lose the least amount of time. It's easier said than done around this circuit. First black flag of the day has come through, though. The Southampton D. It just says multiple.
Yes, that'll be causing a multiple, which means taking out multiple competitors.
Yeah, less than ideal then for the 124. They'll be heading back to the pits for one of our favourite words in the comms box here, re-education.
Indeed. Yes, Dante will be in the pit lane telling them exactly where they've gone wrong. Usually it's the bit where they hit the other carts in an unsafe manner. There he is waiting at the end of the pit lane to dish out that.
I assume he'll just remind them that the left pedal is the brake. They should probably hit that.
Yes, Yes, indeed. And the steering wheel allows you to navigate around obstacles rather than into them. So yeah, gap back up to 2.5 now. Tom Law obviously struggling with the latest batch of back markers. Still a healthy lead on the ineligibles of Lancaster C and Cardiff D. Another ineligible has crept into the top 6. That's the Leeds driver in Loughborough F, which has put Edinburgh B down in 8th. That's not the result I'd imagine Jack was hoping for from his high grid position of 4th. So yes, good start to the day for Surrey A. Our championship leaders at the moment. We drop one of the 4 scores that the teams have over the course of the season. Surrey A currently leading overall, having had a 1st, 4th and 5th, but one of those will be dropped should they better them today. There's certainly a 2nd place will go a long way towards that. They're currently showing us a 13-point lead in the championship, but with the dropped rounds, mathematically there are still 4 teams in contention, as the other ones I've mentioned. Coventry D will have a score of 43 to drop. They didn't do too well last time out at GYG. Edinburgh have had well, Edinburgh and UEB. John, here's a little tale for you. I've had a brush with my email account, which is the tool I use to distribute justice across the BUKC. They fielded ineligible drivers who raced the previous day in mains at both PFI and Buckmore. I say both, one apiece for each team. Take benefit of the doubt that they were unaware of that specific rule, but once identified, the rules were applied, and yes, they've got dropped scores from those rounds that they want rid of, and once they do get rid of them, if they get themselves a decent result here, they have a shot at the title.
Interesting, yeah. Of course, that's the page a little bit misleading with the points at the moment, as there's another driver facing the wrong direction there down at the hairpin. It definitely caught me off guard. I thought, oh, well, it looks as though the championship is done realistically here in the intermediates, but with those drop rounds, it spices it up yet again. Swansea C getting a couple of penalties coming through, both in the last, well, they were within a minute of each other, within about 20 seconds of each other, racing under yellow, followed by contact penalties, so Swansea C will be losing a few positions at the end of this one. It was a moment ago quite close between Lancaster C and Cardiff C out there on circuit, but it looks as though Cardiff have had just a bit of trouble getting through the back markers. They've dropped a further 2.5 seconds behind the Lancaster driver, and they're getting themselves a couple of contact warnings as well, so Cardiff having a bit of trouble getting through the back marker traffic. Speaking of losing positions, John, Edinburgh B down to 10th now. I think we just saw that on stream. The number 64, Jack Agawala, is not having the best of races. In fact, I think we've just picked him up again now. We have, he's made one back on that Leeds driver, who I think might be the bright part of the 8th, but we'll see now as we come back round for another lap. There's the 50 of Cardiff C coming round the inside of another back marker. Through the chicane they come. We have indeed got the 50 of Cardiff C. There we've got in behind them the 120, which is a back marker, and inside for the number 39. That's probably going to be a bumper pass, as onto the scene comes the 55 of Coventry D, Andrew Lloyd, and he's followed through there with that cheeky little tap whistle on the screen. Yeah, the 39 did try and point the driver that he tapped out the way back through, but then
didn't seem interested, did he,
other driver tried to force it way through the middle, so he went, oh, actually, okay, there goes. That's a serious cone penalty. That one absolutely destroyed there on the main straight. Poor cone. Yes. We saw some cone abuse yesterday, and we just felt so sorry for those cones, and that one might be a dead cone.
Yeah, I think it's beyond repairs. The 39 goes to the inside again, but no move this time around. So 39 isn't in position here. It's Oshan Hartle Doyle for Brunel A, who's down in 25th and 1 lap down. Appears to have a reasonable amount of pace though, as he seems to be keeping in with the Coventry D kart in 5th, 20 places ahead of him, although there we see Andrew Lloyd has got the better of him. I think we're back with our 4th place driver here now, are we? No, this is the 44, Callum Howes in the Leicester A kart.
Yeah, this is Leicester, Nottingham, Trent B, and I think there's a couple of drivers quite close ahead as well, Coventry H and Warwick C. Penalty has just come through though for Leicester A involved in that battle. Penalty for contact, so clearly the battling getting a little bit too close.
Yes, that'll be a multiple contact, not necessarily gaining an advantage from the contact, but making unwarranted contact with another kart nonetheless.
Exactly. Of course, they say rubbing is racing, but you've got to be fair enough out on the circuit. And yeah, multiple egregious bits of contact, you're going to be getting yourself a penalty. We'd seen the gap here. Here is your leader again, the 112 Huddersfield C. We'd seen the gap between them shorten to about 1.3 seconds at one point. A couple of less than ideal laps for Huddersfield C. But again, it's opened back up to 2.3 seconds as they continue to pick their way through the back markers. Less than 5 minutes left to go then in this first race of the day for the finale of the British Universities Karting Championship Intermediate Classification. And a few of our championship contenders doing decently well in this one. A few falling by the wayside a little bit, but still lots of time for things to play out. Of course, only the first race of 6 left to come this afternoon. And of course, we couldn't bring you any interviews before that first race of the day, but Jacob and I will be heading out onto the circuit after this one to have a chat with some of our drivers, and that might be one to talk to. That's a big off there down at the hairpin. It's quite a distance there to get from the track down there to that barrier, but they managed to do it in style. Huh?
Oh, there's been plenty who've managed that today, John. They're specialists, this lot, at finding tyre walls.
I've been in that exact tyre wall, so I can't really speak.
Yes, in this exact championship, if I'm
I think it was my first season in the Inters. To be fair, it was not my fault. 2 drivers battling in behind. Driver went down the inside way too late on the brakes and overtook that guy, but went straight into the side of me, and I went backwards into the tyre wall.
I've been there myself as well, John. It's a welcoming tyre wall, isn't it? It's that stationary yellow. Have we got a full course yellow? No, just 2 yellows out in succession, I think. We'd be seeing the slow boards if we did have a full course yellow, and indeed, yes, you can see there another marsh post as Tom Law picks off another couple of back markers. He's coming around to complete another lap. We were just following Robbie Rigby, who looks like he's got a bit more of a gap than the last time when we checked in on them. Robbie crossing the line now with Tom following down. Let's see what the gap is. 3.7 seconds. Yes, the gap has extended significantly since we last looked at it. Tom's not too much of an advantage over the 78 now. In fact, you can see them both in shot. We've got a Leeds driver in the 78 for Lancaster. I wish I could tell you who it was. I'm going to try and read his suit. It's not written on there, unfortunately. Sometimes they have the names on the back, sometimes they don't. And the helmet's certainly too far away for me to be reading, but we'll pick up on that thread after the race.
Lancaster, sorry, I was just going to say Lancaster can't pick up any points because it's an ineligible driver, but Surrey won't know that when they're being overtaken.
No, to clarify, if Tom loses this position, he will still get the points for finishing second. Ineligibles are ineligible for point scoring. They do not score any points, so even if the 78 of Lancaster C got to the front of this one, the winner would be deemed the first eligible driver. We do try and avoid ineligible drivers in our championships. However, we set these teams up as teams of 4, and if you can't find a fourth person to race, then fill the seats. And fill that seat with ineligible drivers.
It makes it nice and confusing for us in the commentary box.
Absolutely, we've got to work for our money at the job, don't we? The gap's closed right up. Robbie Rigby's obviously faced some challenges on that last lap, and it's down to less than 2 seconds. In fact, yes, you can see a plethora of karts ahead of Tom Law. Robbie Rigby is second in that now as the 63 defends from him. Not expecting that from back markers. I don't think the 63 quite realises just who it is that he's battling with. It's the Nottingham Trent B kart still on the defence, and now Tom Law is just 2 karts behind Robbie Rigby. This could get exciting.
Yeah, Nottingham Trent B kind of fended off from Swansea C then, so clearly thinking it's still the same driver behind that they're defending from. They've just got themselves a penalty as well, ABC ×3 for Nottingham Trent B as we go through onto another lap. Less than 1 minute left to go then And we're watching out for where these leaders are able to pick through the back markers and how much it ends up closing in. Siding through well there, second place of Surrey A, trying to make sure that the Huddersfield driver can't scamper off too much, but equally they're looking in the mirrors, looking at the attack from Lancaster C as well. Yeah, a number of penalties coming through recently. Edinburgh B picking up one, Nottingham-Trent B, as I mentioned, two for Brighton A, another one for Edinburgh B, Nottingham-Trent B, Swansea C, Warwick D, Leicester A. Quite a few coming through in the last few minutes of this race, so there might be a bit of a discussion after this one between JB and some of the drivers, but we'll wait and see then. 20 seconds left to go on the clock. I think as your leader comes across the line, he will indeed start the last lap of race number 1 then, down into the first couple of corners, and only a few moments to go as Jacob's going to head off and head down to the grid, ready to chat to some of the drivers after this one. Then the 63 still defending as they head down into the hairpin. The 112 Huddersfield C unable to find a way through. Luckily for him, they've got the number 80 of Swansea C in between him and the two drivers in second and third as well. Heading through the horseshoe then up into the final sector. Robbie checking over the shoulder, just making sure he doesn't get lost there and works out where the rest of the drivers are in behind. Again, has been blocked by Swansea C around the final corner. It's not going to matter. Robbie Rigby will come through and see the checkered flag first. He pumps his fist in the air and takes the win. Wide moment across the line there for Surrey A. I think they just about managed to hold on to that as they were shuffled wide by the Swansea cart. But across the line then, Huddersfield C in first place, Surrey A in second, and Lancaster C third on the road. Of course, Lancaster and Cardiff C definitely ineligible in that one, and probably a few more across the field as well that I don't quite know of. Of course, Jacob having the access to all the behind-the-scenes stuff here at the UKC. Does lots of work with the UKC and Club 100 and whatnot, so he's able to get the inside scoop on all the drivers and everything that's been going on then. But a good first race of the day then here in the British Universities Karting Championship in the intermediate class, like we say. You've joined us here to cap off the 2025 season, which is always a little bit surprising in April, but that's just how the BUKC works. Starts at the end of the year and then finishes at the start of a different year. Right, then let's have a look at the final results then. Of course, the final provisional results in the Inters race number 1 here from Clay Pigeon. Huddersfield C, Surrey A and Lancaster C, your top 3, like we mentioned, followed by Cardiff C, Coventry D, Loughborough F, then Nottingham-Trent C, UWE D, Edinburgh B and Surrey C, your top 10. They were followed by Cardiff B, Derby B, Coventry F and Royal Holloway A. And then just in behind them were Brighton A, Coventry H, Nottingham-Trent B, Swansea C, Leicester A, York A, Warwick C, then Reading F, Manchester Met A, Cambridge C, Leeds C, Brunel A and Leeds B. And then finishing off the 36 drivers in that one were York B, Loughborough E, Swansea B, Oxford Brookes E, then Warwick D, UWTSD A, Southampton D, Imperial C and Brighton B. Two drivers there losing 4 laps on that one, which... You maybe would have been a bit more surprised at that at GYG. It's quite a long circuit, but here at Clay Pigeon, a totally different circuit to go to after GYG as well. We were Reeve and I were saying yesterday how fantastic the circuits that we've been to this year have been. The guys have done a great job behind the scenes getting those all sorted and making sure that we go to some of the best circuits in the UK. But like I was mentioning, very different circuit this one here at Clay Pigeon than what the drivers would have had last time out at GYG. This circuit a lot shorter, only 815 metres in length, whereas the GYG circuit over a kilometre, potentially even 1.1, 1.2 kilometres that track, so a decent bit longer. This circuit maybe about 2/3 of the size, and also GYG, big long straights, but then also some really difficult technical sections. This circuit, a lot more about carrying the speed through, odd cambered corners as well, where it's really struggling. If you go off of the line, the grip just totally falls away, and it's a really difficult one to get yourself back on and get back in the groove. And that means that often the lap times can be quite close around here at Clay Pigeon, so finding that little extra bit can be really, really tough for the drivers. But a good showing there in that one from Huddersfield C and Surrey A. Surrey A did close into within 3/4 of a second there by the checkered flag in that one, given that Huddersfield were being held up, but I think they managed the gap nicely there to make sure that they stayed ahead and got that fastest lap in that race, did Robbie Rigby. 41.339, fastest lap in terms of racing action so far here today. Then we'll wait and see when there are any drivers are to beat that. And that is a tough time to beat, to be fair. Like I was mentioning during that race, we did see one lap time drop down into the 40s yesterday in the Drivers' Champs, but generally in racing conditions in the mains, we were sort of looking at between 41.1s and 41.7s and 8s as the leader's pace. So 41.3, still a very impressive time for the Huddersfield C driver as he cracks on here in the intermediates. Like we were mentioning then, Drivers will be heading out. It looks as though, yeah, I can see the line of the drivers ready to get weighed, so they're all getting sorted. Of course, you need to make sure that you are above or at least on that weight limit for the race. Of course, if you're below it, you're going to be excluded from the race results, and that's definitely not what you want. You've tried your hardest at 25 minutes. You don't want that to be thrown away because you forgot to put a piece of lead on your kart. Well then, it looks as though we're ready to go. Jacob Harris has left the comms box. He's down on the dummy grid, ready to chat to some of our drivers.
Here we are then, down in the pit lane. Robbie Rigby has just been weighed. I assume you were on the weight.
I was on the weight, indeed.
There we go then, it's a valid race win. Congratulations. Tell us a bit about it.
It was difficult to get through the traffic a little bit. Sort of people figuring out whether I was racing them or passing them, lapping them. But no, it was really good. The lads here who were battling for the title as well, I don't want to get in their way, but they were rapid as well.
Yeah, I certainly saw you looking over your shoulder once or twice on the live stream, and looked like there was a back marker defended against you towards the end there. Worried at all?
Just keeping an eye on the gap between me and second, and hopefully, you know, with the minutes counting down, that it would be a short enough time to just get to the end with the P1.
No, thoroughly deserved victory. You kept them well at bay. 3 championship challenges behind you on the grids, and there you are, coming out on top.
Thank you.
Excellent. Cheers, Robbie. Robbie Rigby there, winner of race number 1. We've got second place man Tom Law back there. First eligible. Was Robbie ineligible? Is he? There's me thinking because he's Huddersfield, then he's not. There we have it. Robbie Rigby doesn't actually win. Tom wins. Tom, come and have a quick chat with me. You won last time out at GYG as well, and that was a mains victory. Does this mean anything less?
No, to be honest, because our A team's still in position to win the championship, and I had other commitments I couldn't make yesterday, so I'm still showing up for Inters today and doing the best I can.
So I mentioned your real boy job on the live stream. As you said, Serie A challenging for the championship.
Yes.
Got a strong team today?
Yeah, a strong team. I'm very confident. Then, unfortunately, it's a drop round. We're way ahead in points, but if there's going to be a drop, we need to, in order for either Coventry D, Edinburgh B, or Surrey to win championship, you've got to be 2 places ahead of UWE. That's the criteria to win.
You've spent far more time working that out for me. I just knew that the 4 of you were involved somehow. But yeah, you're right. The drop round makes all the difference. But I think your worst round so far is a 5th. Is that right?
Stay away from the scale for a second, where we just weigh these last couple of drivers.
Sorry, yeah, that's correct.
So you'll keep today's result provided it's better than 5th.
Yes, we've got the best drop result of the other 3 teams. So yeah, we got an insurance, but there's still all to play for.
Brilliant. Well, all the best with it today, Tom. And I'll let you jump on the scales to verify your win. I'm sure you are above 75 kilos. We're going to head out onto the grid for race number 2 as the drivers prepare themselves for another 25 minutes of action. Here they all are, flooding out onto the grid. We're going to dive straight to the front and see if we've got qualified on pole position for our second race of the afternoon. I'll have a chat with as many drivers as possible. Once we've worked our way to the front of this grid through this sea of students. A few ineligibles to navigate as well. As mentioned, Robbie Rigby apparently was ineligible. Not one that I've picked up on myself. And speaking of ineligible, I'm pretty sure this man here is no longer able to score any points. Zhao, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing? You good?
I'm not too bad. I'm right in thinking you're ineligible, right?
Yes, you are.
So you're racing for Coventry F, I want to say?
H.
Yes. I mean, easy mistake to make. Is it you or Finn jumping in this one?
It's actually Finn.
Actually, Finn. I'll ignore you then. I can find you another time.
Hi, Mum.
Finn, ineligible as well. Missed out on Captain of the Year, unfortunately. Can you prove me wrong? Can you show me that I should have showered you with praise last night? But with a superlative performance here.
I mean, I tried pushing my teammate along in quali because he was a bit slow on the straight, so I don't know if that counts for anything. But
where did he end up?
20th, not very well, I don't think.
That's why he didn't get captain of the year. I've said that about 3 times in the past 12 hours. So, front row start for yourself. What are you hoping for?
To be fair, me and Kavan, he's also ineligible driving for us. He graduated 2 years ago, so fortunately, like Jal can't count. But we're just hoping we have a battle. To be fair. That's all it is. We're just having a bit of fun.
All right then, a little bit of fun we shall see. Let's try and find someone who is eligible. Who have we got here for the Surrey team? Dive straight in. Dante wants to see your wristband first and foremost. And then secondly, I want to know if you can win this race.
I hope so. I think a couple of them are not pointing.
Guys are ineligible.
Okay, and he is. So I'm actually pole.
He is as well, is he? Who's this then?
That's Team Surrey D, Hugo.
Hugo raced yesterday, did he?
Yesterday.
Okay, so we got 3 ineligibles. You're the first of the eligible drivers. Anyone behind you worried about?
They were all a 10th down in qualify, so we'll see.
10th's not much, especially when you've got to navigate through back markers around play Pigeon. All the best, though. I hope you do well.
Thank you very much.
And in behind, we have another of our championship challengers, I believe, or at least our championship challenge in universities, because, Will, you are not an eligible driver, are you?
I am eligible, yes.
You are? I've got that wrong. Apologies. Are you in UEB then?
No, UEC.
I see. That's what I'm getting confused with in my head. I knew you weren't in the championship contending team, but I thought you were in the A's rather than the C's, a man of your talents.
Thank you, cheers.
What are we going to do here then? We've got the first of the eligible drivers in front of us, a couple of ineligible Coventry guys. What do you reckon you can do here?
Just try and keep it clean on the first lap. Outside line might not be the best, but losing 1 or 2 positions shouldn't be too bad.
You can get them back up. It's a 25-minute race.
We'll see what happens.
We will indeed. I'll be watching on the live stream.
Cheers.
Will Cutler there of University West England. Nottingham Trent getting some last-minute instructions here. What did he just tell you?
He was basically saying stick to the inside.
You're on the outside though.
Yeah, but try to get to the inside.
Okay, make sure you stay within the tram lines, otherwise you get braking formation penalties. That's 2 positions gone.
Not on the start, as in like on the first lap later on.
Okay, well, we'll see how that pans out. If you've got a nice distinctive red suit and black helmet, we'll keep an eye out for you on the live stream. Beyond that, what's your plans?
Just make up a few positions, get some good points. That's about it.
Yeah. Strong team for Trent today?
Yeah, but I haven't had a good first race.
Oh dear. You got to make up for that now then.
Make up for it.
All right then. I'll leave you to it. Get yourself in the zone. Okay, I think we're nearly ready to get going. We'll get one word in from the number 132 in the lovely bright orange suit. Who have we got here?
Josh Marchant, Cov G.
Cov G, another Coventry. 2 ineligibles at the front of this one. Are you eligible yourself?
Yes, for this one.
Here we go. We've got an eligible Coventry driver. A rare find on this grid. Can you catch up to those guys at the front?
That's the plan. After a penalty in qualifying, I want to make them up, so...
Here we go. That's the level of confidence the drivers should aspire to. I love it, and I love the suit as well. Get yourself down the front of that grid. We've got a thumbs up from the officials. I think we are about to go. Indeed, there is the whistle. I'll hand back to John in the comms box, where I'll be joining him shortly.
Great to hear from some of the drivers. I wasn't quite sure if the last person that Jacob spoke to there had their helmet done up or not. Hopefully they did. Hopefully I was just misreading the strap there. Hopefully it's just a particularly lengthy strap hanging down across his chest, but one to watch out for. Of course, safety paramount in motorsport. Hopefully that driver has got their helmet sorted out. Anyway, we're about ready to go then for race number 2 here for the BUKC Inters finale at Clay Pigeon. Let's run through the grid for this one. 2 Coventry teams on the front row, but it seems like they're both ineligible then. Coventry E and Coventry H on row number 1. Surrey D and Surrey A then on row number 2. So a double university first 2 rows. Leeds Beckett A and UWEC there on row number 3. Following on row 4. Will be Edinburgh B and Southampton D, then UWED and Birmingham C. They'll be followed by Hertfordshire A, Nottingham Trent B, St Andrews A, then UWTSD A, Leeds A, Coventry F, Nottingham Trent C, Coventry G, then Swansea B, Coventry D, Warwick B, Surrey C, Imperial C, Loughborough E, Leeds B, Royal Holloway A, Oxford Brookes E, Huddersfield C, Leicester A, Warwick D, Leicester B, York B, Loughborough F, Cambridge C, Leeds Beckett B, and Cardiff C. 36 drivers on the grid for this one yet again then. Are we ready to go? First time of asking. It looks as though we are. Pulls over to the right-hand side there, then does the pace car, getting told to slow down as they head to the lights. We're underway and racing for race number 2. The 2 Coventry carts lead us down into Billy's Blind, and who will be leading on the exit. Bit of argy-bargy there from third place. One of the Surrey cars trying to get involved, and a big off there at the first corner. Loads of drivers getting involved in that one as 2 or 3 spun in the middle of the circuit. We had a few more drivers getting back involved and making a bit of contact there down into Billy's blind. Up and under tries Coventry H on Coventry E there. Will they get it on the exit? Yes, they will. Heads into the lead then does Coventry H, and I was watching him in the qualifying session earlier on. Really, really good pace from himself, to be fair, from both these two Coventry cars. Like I say, I do believe both of them are not eligible to score any points, but they were well clear in qualifying. A 41 dead for Coventry E, a 41.1 for Coventry H, and then the third quickest time from the two Surrey drivers was a 41.5, so a good 3 or 4 tenths of a second in it in qualifying between those few drivers. Up and under there goes one driver on the exit. Billy's blind tries to make it a double overtake, can't quite do it. Will be forced back to the outside. That's the Leeds Beckett A driver trying to find a way back through. Yellow flags though down at the hairpin because some barrier repairs are going on here on lap number 2. Welcome back to the commentary box, Jacob.
Thank you very much. And yeah, just an apology to the viewers that I wasn't aware that Robbie Rigby was ineligible in that last race. In my defence, he didn't catch me. So how else was I supposed to know?
It's his fault.
Yes. You are meant to let us know at sign on, and unfortunately Robbie didn't correctly notify us. Tom and Robbie made their way to race control to clarify that matter at the end of the race, and indeed the win has been awarded to Surrey A, as it will be if it stays like this in this race, because with our 2 Coventry drivers at the front of this, Finn Ahmad Hamling and Cavan Taylor are ineligible. There's those 2, and there is the 21 of Surrey A, Reece Eyre, who I spoke to on the grid, net lead of this race, followed by an eligible, I should say, rather than an ineligible. Leeds Beckett A doing very well for themselves.
Indeed, yeah, of course we're keeping a strong eye on the Surrey A car. Of course, I thought they were leading by quite some margin in terms of the championship coming in today, but with drop rounds applied, effectively on identical points going into this one with Coventry D. But a great start to the day so far then from Surrey A. Effective winners in terms of points then in the first race of the day, and like you say, they're looking good for this one. We watched the 2 Coventry carts come through down into the hairpin. And then there is the Surrey kart being followed by a couple of other drivers. Under pressure there is Surrey D battling with, is that the 124? No, it's the 75 of UWEC. So Surrey D have just made the move then up into the top 5. There seems to be a bit of a gaggle in behind as well, battling over 7th place. Southampton D, UWE D, Birmingham C, Edinburgh B as well involved in that one, along with Hertfordshire A. So some good battles kicking off already in this one. Only 3 minutes through the race, but all starting to play out for the moment. As new fastest lap from your race leader.
Yes, change of position then for 5th, so Hugo Ericsson in that Surrey D ineligible gets the better of Will Kurtler in UEC, who I spoke to on the grid as well. We pick up the 21 here, the battle for what is the net lead. Reece Eyre for Surrey A leading into the hairpin from the captain of Leeds Beckett, Alfie Thornton. Done a stellar job captaining Leeds Beckett's 2 teams this year, and did a stellar job in this race as well in 4th place. Those are the top 2 eligible drivers, with Will Kurtler of UEC in 6th place, the 3rd of the point scorers.
We look back here to Hertfordshire A. They had a great last lap. We saw a really nice double overtake out of Billy's blind on the last lap. It was Edinburgh B and Southampton D who were battling. I think Edinburgh went for the move down the inside on Southampton. They both ran a little bit wide, and up and under went Hertfordshire. Great move, and now they're all over the back of Birmingham C. We look forward to this battle though. Attempt there at 3 wide as they headed into the horseshoe. We saw that didn't work on lap number 1 of race 1. Seems to have worked out for them though, as it looked as though yellow flag once again down at the hairpin. So another driver finding the barrier down there. It is a tricky one as well if you go off here at Clay Pigeon, because often the track or the grass will drop away as you head off of the circuit. So you've got a long push back to the circuit, usually a bit uphill as well. And these carts are rather heavy, especially if you've got loads of lead on to get yourself to the weight limit. It can be a tough one to get yourself back on circuit. But it looks as though after the lap 1 scuffles anyway, most people keeping it on the black stuff. I changed that to most, because just as we saw on that camera angle, someone is off down at Billy's blind.
Yes, indeed. Ideal situation for Surrey A at the minute. We see them here, the number 21, followed by the 111 of Surrey D. I believe the term is rear gunner, John. Surrey A want to maintain this position. It's a full 60 points for them if they do. And Surrey D in the 111, Hugo Ericsson, is sat there and can defend from the likes of Alfred Thornton in Leeds Beckett and Will Kirtler in UEC. Just protect that 21 kart from overtakes, from losing any positions, take the heat as it were, and deliver maximum points. They've already had one race with maximum points. A second race with maximum points would make them, I'd say, odds-on favourite for this championship.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, if you can bang in 2 race wins in the first 2 races, you're looking pretty good to wrap up the championship. Oh, Surrey. So the Surrey D driver, is that an eligible driver?
Ineligible. He raced yesterday with Hugo.
So we say that there's a rear gunner, but is Hugo part of the Surrey team still?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine then.
See, very distinctive navy blue and yellow suit,
good.
Which,
good.
is a dead giveaway for it.
So he will be desiring to assist there, as you see a change for the lead on circuit there. Good move there on the exit of Billy's Blind. Through the S as they go, and the 22 of Coventry E takes the lead of the race on the road. So the Surrey D driver, even though they're not eligible for points, does want the Surrey team to do well. So we'll be happy to act as that rear gunner, sitting behind and defend from the drivers in behind. UWEC are there right on the tail of the 2 Surrey karts, and not too far back then to Leeds Beckett, and then those drivers battling over 7th place: Birmingham C, Hertfordshire A, Edinburgh B, and Southampton D. We keep an eye here on the 2 Coventry karts. They head down into Billy's Blind once again. Defending there is Coventry E. They've just taken the fastest lap of the race, 41.7, trying the outside line there through Billy's Blind to Coventry H. Doesn't work out for them this time.
Yeah, Cavan Taylor got the lead this time last lap, sweeping up the inside of Finlay Ahmed Hamlin, the Coventry captain, in the red Spider-Man helmet, as I like to call it. I'm not quite sure if it's intentionally a Spider-Man helmet, but it certainly looks like Tom Holland is racing in the BUKC as he cuts back up the inside at the horseshoe. Cavan Taylor eyeing up and moving for the last corner. It'll be interesting to see how well these 2 navigate back markers when we get there. We are 7 minutes into this race, and before it's out we will see some back marker navigation. Decent bit of a gap Finley's got there on that last lap, having overtaken, although Cavan Taylor closes right back up through the chicane.
Yeah, indeed, has some good pace there on the exit of Billy's Blind, closes straight back up right on the rear axle then of the 128, but doesn't go for a move this time there at the hairpin. I like the shout of the Spider-Man helmet. I always saw it as a basketball myself, but it could be either of the 2.
Yeah, I don't know if it's orange enough.
That's true, it is a bit too red.
It's and I mean the stream can be deceptive in terms of colours, but yeah, certainly in person it's more red than orange, I think. As they side by side, start finish straight. Taylor tucks in behind. Comfortable to follow as we see cone over. I wonder who was the culprit there. Yes, these 2 teammates know each other well, I'd imagine, especially with Finn being the captain. As you can see now, they are coming up to some back markers. They certainly won't be out there to punt each other off, but I'd imagine in any instance that they both like to finish first.
Definitely. They'll still be wanting to race well, even though it doesn't bring home any points to the team. Trying to make a late move there on one of the back markers. Does get through, though. That does the 128. Consistent pace from both of them. Yeah, both fastest laps in the 41.7s, and back-to-back 41.7s for the Coventry E driver on the last couple of laps. However, as you've just pointed out to me, there has been a change for 3rd place. Both of the Surrey karts have lost out to UWEC. I think we saw that in the background a lap or 2 ago as they were heading through Billy's Blind. I think it was just trying to deal with some back markers. I believe both Surrey teams went wide, and up and under went UWEC. So good movement through the pack then. They're already starting to break away. 1.5 seconds the gap between the 75 and the 21. So impressive job.
Yeah, Will Kirtler's obviously doing something right in that 75 kart. He's navigated past the rear gunner that we mentioned, the Surrey D, Hugo Ericsson, and has even got ahead of Reese Eyre in the 21. Not what Reese would have wanted for the Surrey's total challenge, but it looks like he should still be able to get a good haul of points here, especially if he can reel in Will Kirtler.
15 minutes left to go in this race, then 10 minutes completed. We have had a few penalties come through. Sadly, first lap mechanical flag for Cambridge C. Doesn't help them at all. Obviously had to come in, change car to get something sorted. 4 laps down then as they head through this one. A few other penalties as well, forcing driver wide for Nottingham Trent C. Imperial C getting an ABC bump and pass. St Andrews A with an ABC takeout. Another ABC bump and pass, this time for Oxford C. And they also got a curb penalty on the same lap. And then another ABC bump and pass for Loughborough F. So less penalties than we saw in race number 1 for sure, but still a few trickling through as the drivers battle here through race number 2. And there's long trains forming up as well in the mid-pack, and that's going to make it a little bit more challenging for our leaders to side on by.
Yes, and here's the battle for second place, or rather the battle for fourth now. Sorry, second place in the point scoring positions is where I was going with that. You might have noticed I went out last night. I do sometimes stumble over my words, and it's not just because I'm thinking about what to say. At the inside there goes Edinburgh B. That's another one of our championship challengers, John. Great progress there for the what colour helmet would you say that is? Blue and purple?
I think so. There was some choice hand gestures there from a couple of the drivers. We won't dwell on that one for too long.
But yes, Rafi Anwar, just as I was about to say, is making good progress. Rafi gets bumped out wide and is back down to 9th place. Not happy with, I'm not sure if it's Alfie Thornton in the Leeds Beckett kart or perhaps the Hertfordshire A kart that the gesture was towards Artem Elisiv in the Hertfordshire kart, as it's getting a bit feisty.
I do believe it was him still getting roughed up there as Rafi. I do believe it was the Leeds Beckett A driver that maybe gave him a little push at the final corner, because he was the one giving the choice hand gestures towards Rafi only a couple of corners before. So no love lost there between those two. All getting rather close to comfort though, down into the final corner. Bit slidey there for the 72 of Birmingham C. And not happy with that one are the Birmingham C driver, but you can see once again another kart with one name but being driven by a Leeds driver.
Yes, and Alfie Thornton up the inside of one Surrey driver and possibly the other two. Yes, he's ahead of Reece Air, and I think followed through by Hertfordshire's Artem, is he? No, not quite.
Yeah,
in fact, no,
yep.
and indeed passed by Hertfordshire's Artem Elisi. So great move from Artem in the 113, who's now got a back marker to navigate at the front of this pack and tries to go around the outside, and I think might just pull it off around the final corner. The 99 there being the back marker. So the 113 to the front of this one then, Hertfordshire A. We'll see the timing correct. UEC Will Kirtler, I think, is the first point scorer in this one. 4th place then, net 2nd for Hertfordshire A, up to 5th and net 3rd for Alfie Thornton, the captain of Leeds Beckett. And Surrey A now in the clutches of Edinburgh B. We mentioned Rafi just a moment ago, and Rafi battling away still. Seems to be trying to let position back. Oh, we don't like to see that. We do not like to see that at Birmingham C as the Leeds driver, as you mentioned, John. Yellow flags being waved should calm it down a little bit, but I think that this race might need a little more than that.
The road closes up ahead of them there, and they nearly took to the skies, luckily landing back down on all 4 wheels. That would have been a bit of a scary moment there for the Leeds driver. Either way, they're all able to carry on though. That was an impressive last lap though, on the lap before last for Hertfordshire A. 4 places gained on 1 lap, particularly around here at Clay Pigeon. That is mightily impressive, and was making bold moves as well, like we saw around the outside on the back marker at the final corner. A bold place to put yourself, particularly when you're going around the outside of a back marker. You don't know whether they're still going to try and fight you, try and stick it on the apex and maybe outbreak themselves a little and go straight into you. But the bold overtake worked this time for Hertfordshire, making their way through into effectively 2nd place, like you mentioned, and racing through really nicely. All still close in this squabble though. About 3 seconds separating 4th and 10th on the road, and a really nice battle pack forming as the back markers continue to hold them up well. One driver not quite finding, or definitely finding, the limit of grip there as they headed through Billy's Blind. They managed to rejoin the pack though. Sadly for the drivers involved in this leading squabble though, rejoins directly in the middle of all of them. This could scupper up a few lines here, as that's a very late move down the inside from the 131 was that, making quite a bit of contact in the middle of the corner and the exit of the corner.
And Rafi Anwar's come out, unfortunately, at the back of that one again. He's certainly been in the wars these last couple of laps since he's come into focus on the stream. It's moving so fast we can't seem to keep up with all these position changes, John. The Coventry duo remain at the front. Yes, we've seen Edinburgh B drop from 8th down to 10th on that lap specifically. Comfortable in 3rd or net 1st is UEC's Will Kirtler. Hertfordshire A still lead this chasing pack that we're trying our best to keep you up to date with. We believe that it's Artem Elisiv in the Hertfordshire car. There's our leading duo then. It's been switched around. Finn Ahmed Hambling losing out to Kevin Taylor once again, although those two have been trading places as much as the pack behind them seem to have been trading blows.
They definitely have, yeah, trading places, these two at the front then, and defending down into the hairpin is the 22, tries to hang it around the outside, does the 128, but of course that odd camber there at that corner just forces him slightly further wide, losing the grip and continuing to stay in second place then. I will say, of course, these two not eligible for points. So UWC still technically in the lead in terms of points, but you want to win it on the road, don't you?
Absolutely.
You want to win it against the drivers who are all out there on circuit. And the UWEC driver is closing in. It's still these top two with the ultimate pace earlier on in this race, both down in the 41.5s. The 41.7 best lap from UWEC, but over the last 3 or 4 laps, they've closed in that gap from around 7 seconds to about 5.5 now. Still just less than 10 minutes to go. So if they keep battling like they are doing at the moment, these two at the front, maybe we could see UWC try to close in, but might be a little bit too tall of an order to get done here in 9 minutes.
Yeah, just yellow flags there down at the hairpin as a contact warning.
2 penalties
for Cavan Taylor, and yes,
2 penalties for
UWC. They came up as we were talking. Oh, sorry, cone penalties.
Yeah, 2 cone penalties.
I was looking at the West of England D team getting a couple of penalties, but yeah, 2 cone penalties for our third place man, our net leader, who is now no longer a net leader, as they'll be dropping 2 positions at the end of this, which puts Hertfordshire's driver Artem Elisev into the net leader this, and indeed Alfie Thornton in Leeds Beckett A will be net second, as if it wasn't hard enough to keep track of who was scoring what points.
It makes it even more difficult.
Will Kirtler decides to complicate things further by having a dabble with some of JV's finest orange plastic.
Those drivers, not only for your own sake, but for us here in the Comstock, much appreciated. But like you say, Hertfordshire into effective lead of this race, then Leeds Beckett A in effective second, only 2 tenths between them as they came across the line last time of asking. Here's a change for the lead on circuit, up and under though goes the 128, great move there. Clearly had made that overtaker around the outside down into the first corner, and Reeve takes it through and into the S's. Good movements, and that's actually put a bit of air between themselves at the front end of the order as well. And there you can see at the top of your screen those cone penalties coming through for UWEC. Not ideal then for those two penalties, dropping them down the order. That's not what they wanted to see, and throwing away what would have been a race win and what would have been such a happy interview with yourself, Jacob. Now, and you'll probably still chat to them, but you'll probably those silly penalties.
I will not give him the time of day.
Stay away from those cones if you want to chat with Jacob.
Exactly. Yeah, up the inside then goes Cavan Taylor. I think Cavan was just slightly unsettled last time round, as we see Spinner recovering at the hairpin. Yeah, Finn going up the inside of that left-hand kink on the start-finish straight. I think Cavan tried to hold first place on the inside and outbraked himself almost, which gave Finn a bit of breathing room, which that's a big hit. And it's Hugo Eriksson in the Surrey D kart from 7th position. That might be the full course yellows to recover those tyre walls, as we've seen earlier on in the day. But yes, big hit for the 111 from 7th position. We've got another kart off at the top of the track as well. Let's see how it all pans out. Just waved yellows, no full course yellows just yet on this one, as round comes that gaggle of karts. And yes, you can see there the 111 dropping down the order. Still Hertfordshire A, Leeds Beckett A, Surrey A in that one. Rafi from Edinburgh is back up to 7th. Possibly the most action-packed race Rafi Anwar has ever had. I do feel for the man's ribs, as there he is on the inside of this, and second kart in this train following through under yellow flags.
It's been a great squabble, still continues to be for 6th place, but crucially now that the 111's gone, Surrey with no rear gunner in this one. They're open to the elements now and open to attack from the drivers in behind. That's not what they'll be wanting. I mean, ideally in the last couple of minutes, they could try and close in and get involved with Hertfordshire and Leeds Beckett. They could gain those positions from the cone penalty from UWEC, but 2 seconds is a bit of a tall order. Well, that's now become 6 seconds, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Now, track limit warning just flashed up at the top for Cavan Taylor. He's our race leader at the minute. He's got the better of Finn Ahmed Hamlin, who I'm sure will be coming back at him in a matter of moments. Up the inside there, the 72 of Birmingham C, as we follow our championship contenders Surrey A and Edinburgh B. Rafi Anwar looking to get ahead of Surrey A, take points off them, take precious points off them this course today. Edinburgh need a good result. York B at the top there, getting a spinning under yellows penalty. SUY stands for spinning under yellows, and an unsafe release penalty comes through for York B as well, and an overtake under yellows. Wow, this is badly paved. As I read out those penalties, through goes Rafi Anwar, gives the little point to Raceway in the Surrey car. Rafi certainly shown a lot of pace in this race, and the 74 there of Nottingham Trent C looking to get involved, but around the outside of the horseshoe isn't going to come off, and the cutback just isn't on. But a little bit of a gap already for Rafi. He'll come round in 6th place, which we think will be, as there's a change for 4th as well. Alfie Thornton has got himself up into 4th, just ahead of this pack. And yes, there is confirmation. Edinburgh B in 6th place, which we think will score points for 4th.
Indeed, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that one for you. 4 minutes left to go. We saw Rafi pointing ahead after he made that move. I think with 4 minutes to go, no driver's going to listen to you for working together. It's an all-out scrap here to end this race. Like we mentioned, York B not covering themselves in glory here in the last few minutes of this one. Spinning under yellows and then an unsafe rejoin. Late move down the inside. And the driver, Reeve there, pointing at the aggressor who knocked him wide. And of course, there's some couple hundred staff there on the inside of the corner. He's pointing there to say, like, he was the one that caused the issue there. Give him a penalty. But of course, that was the driver that we saw backwards into the tyre wall a few moments ago. Trying to make their way back through the pack is the 111 of Surrey D. And they have just got themselves a penalty for that one, though. ABC bump and pass with a 111. They're not eligible for points, though.
Yes, Hugh Ericsson there, perhaps a little bit frustrated as Mr. Whippy finds himself in the tyre wall down at the hairpin. You don't want to sell ice cream there, pal. There's no spectators in the grandstand today. We rejoin. Oh, dive at the inside there from the man I spoke to on the grid. In the orange suit. And we've lost them. Okay. Picking up then with here are race leaders. Finley, Ahmed Hamling has suffered a bit, John. He's lost the back of Kevin Taylor here, and the gap's over a second. I think it's been over a second for the whole race. No. And yeah, so we can see Kevin there for the shot now. There's a car between them, I think, if I'm reading those number plates correctly. In fact, I am. There's more than a car between. Oh no, sorry, Kevin's dropped back. It's Kevin Taylor who's dropped right the way back rather than Finn. That's why I couldn't see him up ahead. Finn has got 2 drivers to navigate, one of them a Warwick driver. I think that's Dan White racing for the Warwick team, and Finn goes to the outside. He's not going to get through that way. He ducks up the inside of one of them. There is indeed Dan White of Warwick University, sticks to the inside of the horseshoes. Cavan now closes back in. That gap was 1.3 at the start of this lap, but with Finley struggling to navigate through these back markers, I think he's going to be able to go around the outside of Dan White. He is, but Cavan Taylor is now right back behind him, especially if you can get up the inside of Dan White into turn 1, which looks like he's going to be able to do.
Does indeed, yeah. Again, bold there, going for the outside move into the final corner on a back marker there for Coventry H. So they get it done. Again, briefly, we had over a second gap there between Coventry H and Coventry E, closing back up to half a second as they go on to a new lap of this race. Still the 1:28 with the fastest lap so far in this one, both down in the 41.5s, impressive pace. And we have got almost the entirety of the top 10 down in the 41s now as well, so good pace throughout the field. The Surrey D have just stolen away the fastest lap of this one, 41.396. Great lap then from Surrey D. Of course, another ineligible driver who's pressing on after that incident, clearly feeling a bit aggrieved and a bit frustrated from that one earlier on, trying to find his way back through the field as we head into less than 1 minute left to go here for race number 2.
Yeah, good to see Hugh Ericsson is channeling his anger at being punted off into productive means, by which I mean the fastest lap, rather than getting an ABC bumper pass on that actively fingered young man who pointed him out to Willie Chew on the exit of the hairpin. Don't look at me like that, John. You know exactly what I meant. No comment. Penalty for Leeds A, overtaking under yellow flag. The yellow flag discipline in this race has been poor, John.
It has.
I'm just going to put that out there. There's been a lot of rule infringements with yellow flags out as we approach the last lap and we pick up Finn. Ahmed Hamling now going through the first corner. I think he's got enough of a lead over ineligible teammate Cavan Taylor to hold this out. In fact, there is the lead itself. And yes, it's just about a kart length, 7/10, which I think is going to be a bit too much for this cameraman to handle. Luckily, we have more level-headed cameramen able to track Finn through the horseshoe, and whilst the gap is closing, it's nowhere near close enough for Captain Taylor to do anything about it. Finn, the armoured hammering, rounds the last corner and will cross the start-finish line here to take victory on the road. 2 ineligible drivers for Coventry, but great drives nonetheless. Through comes Will Kurtler to pick up 3rd place on the road, but 2 cone penalties for him mean that he'll be relegated behind Alfie Thornton for Leeds Beckett A, who I believe will pick up the win should he cross the line in front of Artem of Hertfordshire A, and indeed there he does. Great driving from all.
Only 2.5 tenths between them though as they cross the line there, so a good battle for what ended up being the effective win in that race there. You saw as the 2 Coventry drivers came across the line, the 128 of Coventry H putting the finger in the air, going, I'm number 1, and immediately the 22 reacted, chucking his head backwards like, couldn't quite get him. But a good battle throughout the race of those 2. They were swapping places like it was going out of fashion earlier on in that one, but then break it away did the Coventry H. Took that one home for themselves, at least on circuit anyway, not in terms of points. That is going to go the way of Leeds Beckett A. The UWEC going to be kicking themselves in that one. They have won that race on track for points scorers by 6.5 seconds. What an impressive race for the number 75. But they've just picked up 2 cone penalties. I'm pretty sure it was even on the same lap, those 2 cone penalties, and a silly mistake to make. Trying to cut through the back markers, of course, making some mistakes, and losing out on what's going to be the win then. Let's look at the full results from race number 2 here in the Inters at Clay Pigeon. As we mentioned, Coventry H and Coventry E. 2.5 tenths in it between those 2 as they cross the line. Good battle between them, but not eligible for points. UWEC were the first ones eligible. With those 2 cone penalties, though, will be dropping down to 3rd place in terms of points when all is said and done. So Leeds Beckett A take the win then out there for race number 2, followed by Hertfordshire A and, of course, UWEC, like we mentioned. Then Edinburgh B, Birmingham C, Surrey A, then Nottingham-Trent C and Nottingham-Trent B round out the top 10. Southampton D, Surrey D, UWTSD A and Coventry G, I forgot how many teams Coventry have. Coventry G there in 14th place. Swansea B in 15th, followed by UWE D, then Coventry F, Coventry D, Warwick B, and Loughborough E. Leicester A just outside of the top 20, followed by the sister team of Leicester B. Then it was Leeds A, Oxford Brook C, Huddersfield C, Imperial C, and Surrey C. And finalising the 36 karts out there on circuit for that one were Royal Holloway A, St Andrews A, Leeds B, Cardiff C, Warwick D, Loughborough F, Leeds Beckett B, York B, and Cambridge C. 2 of the 6 races done and dusted then, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear from some drivers in that race and the one coming up next, heading down to Jacob in the pits.
Okay, drivers, if we can have your...
Down here on the grid, we have confirmed the winner of that race is this man here, Alfie Thornton, captain of Leeds Beckett. Alfie, congratulations. Is this your first win?
Yes, my first win on my first top 10.
First top 10? Yeah. Wow, what a superlative performance from yourself. Tell us a bit about your race.
It was quite chaos, to be honest. I didn't really know what was going on. We quite got bunched up and during the race, and there was a switch back, and then I was going through here as well. And I don't even know if it was for position or anything, but it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Yeah.
I'll forgive you for saying fucking on the live stream. Alfie, you got a number of nominations for Captain of the Year this year as well. I think your team are, they're clearly happy for you here and very supportive. You've done a great job in getting Leeds back on the grid this year. How much of an effort has it been from yourself?
It's been a lot of hard work. Obviously, we're the smaller Leeds University. That doesn't mean Leeds is green. Leeds is in fact purple. But we are the smaller Leeds University, and it took a lot to scrape together the 2 teams we had for qualifying, and the boys have just improved all the way through the season and put in some really solid results. And wherever we finish in the championship, we can be very, very proud of it. I'm very, very happy with how the lads have done.
And you can be very, very proud of how well you've done here today, Alfie. Congratulations and well deserved.
Thank you very much.
Alfie Thornton there, winner of race number 2. We've got a little bit of a rebriefing going on to my left. As I mentioned on the stream, the discipline under yellow flags in that race was poor, to say the least. Lots of overtaking, spinning, speeding under yellows, which we just can't have. Yellow flags on this circuit mean that there is a danger to other competitors, and if you're not in control of your your go-kart, then that danger doubles, plain and simple. We're just going to shuffle to this side, Stu, because there's fuel coming in behind us, but we will make our way to the front of the grid, actually, and wait for the pole sitter for race number 3. Are you in this next race? Not in this next race. Okay, we'll just wait at the front for this briefing. We'll have a quick chat with Dante. Dante, it's not the first time I've interviewed you on a live stream, and here you are, the boss.
Oh, I wouldn't say the boss, but I'm working, I'm helping, I'm doing my bit for BUKC.
Yeah. You enjoying it?
Yeah, I do enjoy it. Obviously, I know a lot of these drivers anyway, from having raced them and just generally being around. I know a lot of these guys, so it's quite entertaining. It's fun to watch as well. So obviously, you're always busy, which is good.
Exactly. Speaking of which, another race coming right up and starting. Is this pole position? Starting on pole position is the number 52. It's University of West England. Which UE team is this? UEB. Our championship contenders come and have a chat. Who have we got sat in the car or going to be sat or steady on? I just meant you will be sat in the car. You can come and stand up and talk to me if you want. Save my knees going down. Remind us of your name.
My name's Ollie.
Ollie. And Ollie, you've been a mainstay of this team throughout the season.
Yes, I've been here every race, not qualifying the best, but doing what I can in the races, which is why we're still in the championship race.
You say not qualifying the best, you do realise you can't qualify any better than this?
Well, my qualifying before this, my best qualifying was 20th.
Wow.
So to say I'm out of my depths is, accurate.
There's something going on at Clay Pigeon. The winner of the last race had never even had a top 10. The pole man for this race has never been higher than 20th. What's going on this weekend?
It's got to be the Mackey's breakfast. It's got to be.
I was thinking maybe like a few hours before the Mackey's breakfast, there might have been something that really inspired you to drive better.
Oh, well, the after party last night was absolutely phenomenal, hosted by yours truly. It was incredible. I'd like to think that, that hyped me up to get pole today.
Yeah. There's nothing that makes you go fast around a racetrack, quite like singing Germans and seeing naked men do it on foot.
Was the highlight of the night, yeah. The naked race was amazing.
Yeah. Did you compete yourself?
I almost did. Unfortunately, there were family in the grandstands.
Yeah.
So probably not.
Yeah. That's usually the line. I almost did. Is pretty much how I describe my own participation in the naked lap. What can we do in this race, though?
Honestly, anything over a P5, I'd be really happy with. Of course, I'm starting pole. I'd like to think I can win this. But yeah, just see what happens lap 1 and you can go from there, I guess.
All right, then. I'm going to have a look, see who your main competitors to stop that from happening are. Who have we got lining up in second position?
Josh Moore. I'm racing for Lancaster C, but I'm from Manmet.
Oh dear, we've got an ineligible driver. I mean, we've had about 100 ineligible drivers already across the first 2 races, so it's no surprise that we've got one in the third. How did you qualify in your actual Manmet seat then?
I'm just racing for Lancaster.
Oh, so how did that happen? Why aren't you in the Manmet team?
We've only got we gave everyone two races out of the 4. That's how they wanted it to work.
Okay, but they're obviously missing out on your talent.
Yeah, this is my highest start. I started P5 at PFI, which is my highest, so not started from P2, so I'll give it a go.
Well, I mean, he's just told me that he's never started higher than 20th, so you're the experienced man here.
Then yeah.
You're going to have to show him how to do it.
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
All right, then, let's see who's a bit further back up the grid. That's our front row. We've got Surrey here. I will quickly talk to Surrey. It's been a decent start for you guys, the leaders of the championship at the moment. Can you get another decent result here?
The plan is drive fast, don't crash. I don't see how it could go wrong.
What if you get crashed into?
I don't know. I'll cry in the car park for a bit.
There's no championship points for crying in the car park.
That is unfortunate.
We changed the rule this year. I know there used to be, but yeah, I got rid of that because it seemed like a bit superfluous.
Well, that's unfortunate. Okay. That's upset me a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I'll channel that anger into a good result.
Hopefully we'll manage.
It's going to be fine. I'm not worried. I'm just going to go out there and drive. It's going to be great.
All right, then. I'll let you get on with that. Fantastic. Surrey A, our championship contenders in their 3rd of their 4 races. We're going to dive all the way back to someone who's not in Leeds or Surrey. We're going to talk to this man in the lovely lime green helmet, shaking his head at me. What's that all about? Why do you want to talk to me?
No paparazzi.
No paparazzi. Are you in the zone? Is that the problem?
I'm in the zone, yeah.
Okay.
Looking to head forward quite far.
Yeah. To the front? To the very front?
Near the front.
Near the front. Top 5?
Top 5.
Top 5.
Yeah, we started back in 26th in GYG and made it up to P9. So we're hoping for something similar.
All right then. Yeah. Okay. We'll look out for Exeter A. Probably in the last 5 minutes or so of the race, popping into the top 5. Exeter A. I say Exeter A. Exeter B is this?
Exeter B. Yeah.
Look out for Exeter B. Lime green helmet. 5th on the final lap.
Yep.
Here we have it. All right, let's get one more in, shall we, before we get going. Or rather, just leave it there. The whistle's blown. They'll be getting going for race number 3. Back to the comms box, John.
Thank you, Jacob. Great to hear from some more of our drivers there. You can see Jacob waiting awkwardly to be told that he's clear. And he waits in between the carts and they're all to head off of the grid as they get ready for race number 3 then. I could have sworn the last driver that we spoke to there on the grid had an Angry Birds helmet, and that in itself is a little bit surprising. But we had another one yesterday as well. Where have all these Angry Birds helmets come from? Anyway, maybe that'll charge him onto a good result. Let's have a look at the grid then for race number 3 here in the intermediate class. UWE and Lancaster C then on the front row, with Liverpool C and Imperial A on row number 2. Surrey A and Leicester B there on row 3. And following them, row 4 is York A and Loughborough F. Coventry D and Brunel A round out the top 10 on row 5. And Swansea B and UWE C on row number 6. Row 7 will have St Andrews A and Coventry F. Then it's Leeds C, Surrey D, Reading F and Cardiff B there. And rounding out the top 20 are Exeter B and Surrey C. Then it's Manchester Met B and Manchester Met A alongside each other on row 11. They're followed by Leeds Beckett B and Coventry G. Then Brighton B, Warwick C, Cambridge C, Derby B, Brighton A and Huddersfield C. Then rounding out the 36 kart grid will be Leeds A, Coventry E, Royal Holloway A, Warwick D, Swansea C. And then at the back of the grid is Birmingham B. Not quite ready to go around this time around though. The drivers will head round the cut through and hopefully get this race started. First time of asking. Some of the drivers not really wanting to talk to you out there, Jacob. You're a bit scary, a bit of a scary man.
I'm sexually intimidating, John, is the term. Not a lot of people can handle that. However, Ollie Andrews could, our pole sitter in the 52. The first race for Championship contenders UEB. Let's see how Ollie gets on here from the start, facing up against an ineligible in the 78 on the front row of the grid. Away they go, and it's a great start from Ollie Andrews. He'll take the lead into the first corner as challenging for second place is the third place starter, but not quite getting up there. Who's that in third place? It's the 46, is it, of Liverpool C, Archie Coveney, as we've got someone taken to the grass there on the exit of the chicane. And up the inside, indeed, goes the Liverpool C, Archie Coveney, taking that place. I think it's Archie Coveney anyway. I know Liverpool's drivers are ineligible for this one.
Yeah, not placed to see someone off onto the grass there on the exit of the S's. It was a spin for one driver as they headed through the right, then trying to pitch it back into the left, lost it, went rightwards, and sadly for that driver was on the outside of them and just got punted straight off onto the grass. So both those two losing a few places here on lap number 1 as they come across the line to start lap 2. As you mentioned, great start from UWEB, already almost leading by a second out there at the front of the order, ahead of Liverpool C, Lancaster C, Imperial A and Surrey A, then Loughborough F, Coventry D, Leicester B, St Andrews A and York A. They're your top 10 then, heading through onto lap number 2. Already some moves being made. We saw a few lock-ups down here into the hairpin on that first lap, but all drivers keeping it in the right direction this time around anyway. And already starting to fall into a bit of an order then. Crucially, facing the wrong way there, one driver. That is not ideal. I was going to say crucially for Surrey A. Held on well then from the start, at least maintaining position out there in 5th place. So looking to get a good result on the board once again for team number 21.
Absolutely. So we've got UEB eligible for points at the top of this one. Liverpool C and Lancaster C are both ineligible. So Imperial A are net second place in this, and Surrey A, who we also spoke to on the grid, are net third. Another good result that will be for them if they convert that. Fastest lap goes to Coventry D. Another one of our championship challengers, John McCullen, in the kart for this one for Cov D. So close at the top between 3 of our 4 championship contenders, the other being Edinburgh B, who I don't think are in this race. Indeed, they are not. So a race off for them. Yes, first outing for UEB in their championship challenge. Ollie Andrews leads this one, doing exactly what he needs to do. Surrey A's got Matthew Conabier doing a stellar job. There he is in the distinctive navy and yellow suit. As we head back to the front to see how Ollie Andrews is doing, fending off our two ineligible drivers. Fastest lap has gone to Liverpool C, the car in second place, and Lancaster C, the gentleman from Manmet, whose name I've completely forgotten. I don't think it's on my admin system either. It's not. I will remind myself of it afterwards. Should be with.
Oh dear, Manchester Met needed to put the names on for us to work out here in the comms box. As we said, UWB having that great start on lap number 1, nearly extending the gap to a second. Immediately though, Liverpool and Lancaster closing in onto the rear bumper of the number 52. It's looking like a good little train here from Imperial A back now. So Surrey A still there in 5th, right behind them, of course, effective 3rd in terms of points. And now Loughborough F and Coventry D have closed up to the back of this one as well. Surrey, I think sort of a half attack, half defend there into the horseshoe, holding that inside line, trying to keep Loughborough F behind. But easier said than done then, I think, trying to hold on to 5th place on the road. New fastest lap for Loughborough F on the last lap. First driver down into the 41 so far in this race. 41.9 for Loughborough F as they come across the line. No one beats that time, not even Loughborough F. So still the only drivers down into the 41. Second mark then are the 102, but the 46 hounding the back then of the 52, looking to take the lead on circuit. Gets a bit slidey though, out of the S's. Got to watch out for that sausage curb on the outside. JB doesn't want you riding that at any point today.
Do not ride the sausage. We have plenty of sausage riders. And it's interrupting the qualifying sessions. We do specifically that. So at the front of this one then, still Ollie Andrews of UB seems to be managing for now the challenge of the 46. And perhaps they're working together a little bit. It's not looking too feisty out there for now, although it is early on in the race, so it would be wise of them to do so. It may not be anything pre-planned. We've got a little gaggle of 3 carts. That's the UAB, Liverpool C and Lancaster C before Imperial A, Surrey A, Loughborough F, who are also ineligible, and then Coventry D. Here are the following 4 championship challengers in both, and up the inside goes one of them. That's the Surrey A kart up the inside of Imperial A, and looks like a move for the Coventry D kart at the back of this one as well, getting ahead of Loughborough F, who set the fastest lap last time around. This time around they've lost position to Cov D. Cov D being driven by Jonathan McMullen.
Yeah, Loughborough F just getting a bit caught out there on the corner exit, getting a bit checked up by the driver in ahead, and Coventry D used that to their advantage, made their way through, now trying to make it through at the S's, not happy with the 26 there of Imperial A, turning across them, not giving the room there in the mid-corner, and Coventry D nearly getting forced off of the circuit. They do manage to keep it on and keep it there ahead of the Loughborough F car in behind, pointing forward, wanting to work together in the Demon Tweaks branded suit there, as yellow flags out in sector number 2. No battling through that section. Looks like they're in though as they head into the final corner, and they can crack back on with some racing. A couple of penalties coming through already in this one. ABC takeout for Surrey C, 2 penalties for Cardiff B, a braking formation and a forcing driver wide, and then another ABC takeout, this time for Reading F. So a few drivers going to be dropping down the order when all is said and done and penalties are applied post-race in this one. But battle's exciting in this one. This one's been pretty exciting so far, over 5 minutes through already, and we've sort of split into 2 big groups at the front of the order. Still plenty of battling going on at the bottom end of the top 10 and further down as well, but I think it'll only be a couple of minutes until they start to catch a few back markers here.
Yeah, very deep there into the hairpin was Harris Warburton for Imperial, and up through goes Jonathan McMullen for Coventry D. Finally got that move done that started on the chicane on the previous lap. Didn't look quite to be on by there, but I think Harris Warburton got a little bit out of shape into the hairpin, and so yes, Cov D fastest lap and up into 5th place. What more can they do from there? Incidentally, John, Imperial A, Harris Warburton, my favourite names of some of my favourite names of the BUKC. Harris Warburton, 2 surnames. He's got a teammate called Caleb Jeff, which is 2 first names. I feel like 2 guys called Caleb Harris and Jeff Warburton could have been born out of those 2 human beings, but instead they've gone for the double. Tom Newnham and Manuel Nunes, the other 2 in that team, and a great bunch of lads they are as well. So here's our leaders then, as they were, or as they have been since the start really, within a second of each other, within half a second of each other actually, but not getting too feisty at the moment. Surrey are closing in on them, And Coventry D, if they keep setting the fastest lap, will also close in on them. So we could see a 5-car battle for this one as we follow Harris Warburton himself, the man with 2 surnames, as he looks to navigate past what I think is the first of the back markers for him in this race. So yeah, there's your front 3. 4th place there, the 21 going through shot at 55, 5th place. Then Harris Warburton following the back marker in 6th. They are closing up. We've got 2-second gap from this lead trio back to Surrey, and a further 4 back to John McMullen in a Coventry D.
Just going to mention Coventry D closing in with the fastest lap, but it's just actually gone the way of York A now in 10th place, the number 69, pressing on.
That is the sex number.
What sort of energy you bring to the commentary here today, Jacob? It's been very sexually charged.
My usual.
Not
what
just
the
particularly
fans want.
today, then.
What the fans want, John.
It's true. They are absolutely loving it in the live chat, to be fair. They're enjoying what you're bringing to the comms today. And thank you all for joining us on the Alpha Live stream. And of course, make sure that you subscribe to the Alpha Live YouTube channel so you don't miss BUKC in 2026 as well. And of course, all the rest of motorsport coverage coming throughout the rest of 2025. But we've still got a few more races left to come here today before we cap off the BUKC season in 2025. And battles continuing on down into the hairpin. Like you mentioned, continuing to close in then are Surrey A after they were able to relinquish Imperial of that 4th position, who have now dropped back into P7, and gap continuing to close then, 1.2 seconds between UWE and Surrey, 1st and 4th respectively, about a second in between 3rd and 4th of Lancaster and Surrey. So closing in on the back of this pack, and you can see there now the 21 very much within the same camera shot as the 3 leaders.
Yeah, a bit of shrimping down the straight to try and make up that last bit of the deficit. Human DRS, I believe you and Reeve were calling it yesterday. Gap 1.7 seconds that time around, so he actually lost out a bit there, did Matthew Conabier in the Surrey car, but as you can see there, within the same camera shot, so absolutely a 4-car battle now at the front. It'd be interesting to see if John McMullen can continue to make progress to make it a 5. We're only 10 minutes into this one as well. There's still 15 minutes they've got to battle it out at the front.
Yeah, plenty of time for things to happen. New fastest lap of the race from UWEB, though. Bit of an off there on the outside of the corner. Managed to get it back onto the black stuff, though, relatively safely. And they rejoin the action there around Clay Pigeon Raceway. I was just mentioning UWEB with the new fastest lap. That's immediately stolen by Surrey A, and then that's immediately stolen by York A. So plenty of drivers here showing some really good pace in and amongst the top 10, pressing on well. And like you say, if it continues to close up like it has been doing, we could see a few drivers here battling for the race win at the end of this one. Still 15 minutes left to go. And there's the 81 that you spoke to on the grid, just flirting with the exit curb there. Racer for X to B. Looking to press on ahead. Looks to be doing a decent job of that at the moment, but wanting to avoid those track limit warnings. Got to keep got to keep at least 2 wheels within the white lines there through the final corner. That is the ruling. You can use 2 wheels on the exit curb, but if all 4 go off, that's going to be a track limit penalty for yourself. So don't want to be doing that, though. Still, 10 seconds separating the top 10. Impressive in this one. I think it's the closest we've seen when we've been over 10 minutes into the race so far today. Anyway, great pace amongst the field then as they continue to press on. Still about a second between those top 3, 1.5 back to Surrey A. So initially they were pushing on quite quickly towards those top 3. That seems to have stabilised then in 4th place with that 1.5 second gap. We'll see how that changes throughout the rest of these 15 minutes.
There's the man with one of our favourite helmets in the BUKC for Royal Holloway. I think his name's Zed. Let me just double check that on my system. It is indeed Zed Berisha. And look at that helmet, John. The retro feel of it, the extended visor. Just love it. He looks a class act, doesn't he?
He does. He looks fantastic, but he's just got himself an ABC bump and pass penalty. So
he's not a class act, is he?
God, you are a fickle man.
I go with the win. And there's a cone knocked over there as well. Was that him?
Oh,
we'll have to get that on replay. Zed,
not.
you've let me down. Yeah, there, he's seen the 1 penalty at least. Zed, we love your helmet, but we do not like your racecraft.
Bet you do. Right then,
here we are at the look at the front, John. Look at that gap.
Yep. super close. So it was 1.5 seconds back to Surrey A. Now we look at it. It was a few tenths, and now it's back to 1.5 seconds. It's been a great lap then on the last lap for UWEB. They've extended it by almost a second just for themselves. So now 4 tenths in it between second, third, and fourth place. But a nice little gap built up by the 52. There they are, heading down into the hairpin. And as we track back to the rest of the drivers, visibly not a huge gap, but
Surrey
the biggest gap they've had so far.
Surrey up to third. The 21 is ahead of, I think, the 46. There's our race leader following Mr. Gannon through, and yes, there's the 21 up into third place. They've closed right in, and it's the 78 who's dropped back. I think the 46 of Liverpool C is now in second place. Yes, indeed. And yeah, the 78 of Lancaster C started this lap in second, ends it in fourth.
Both managed to get through then. Impressive for Liverpool and Surrey, not so great for Lancaster then, but again, the continued battling over that last lap between those three has allowed for UWEB to extend even further at the front. They're trying the outside line there, down into the hairpin. Going to go for the up and under instead, try and get some good exit speed, but again, they'll be on the outside heading into the horseshoe, losing time here as they're stuck behind the number 39.
That's Brogan Gannon of Brunel A.
Indeed, in 31st place at the moment is the number 39. Again, continues holding it. That is a big off, and that is a big penalty there for one of the drivers.
And that's the sextant as well. It's York A.
It is. York have the fastest lap in this race. We're in 9th place, and it's all gone wrong.
Yeah, too much too soon for York A, as Brogan Gannon is now lapped over these yellow flags. So our second place man, the number 46 in the ineligible Liverpool kart. There's a cone there, just on the exit. There's Willie Chew. Get that cone well. And racing resumes. So yes.
York doing the naughty then. They're going to get a cone penalty for that, and they've dropped down the order massively. 18th place. I was going to say they've rejoined 18th. No, they haven't. They're still dropping down the order. They've still not come across the line. We know that they've left the scene of the crime there down on the exit of the hairpin, but dropping all the way down. I'm just waiting to see when they do come through. 32nd place for York A, so look to be on for top 10 at least, and even after and ineligibles are taken out of the shop, they might even be up in the top 5, but not to be anymore. York have had streaks of impressiveness throughout this year, but race number 3 not going to plan.
This set of back markers has really closed up our lead 5, and it is a 5 now. John Coventry D are right there with them. You can see Coventry D at the back there of the shot, just behind Brogan Gannon. This is going to get exciting now as through. Oh, that's the 46 trying to put a lap on, I think it was 34, was it? Indeed, yes, that's the gap. These two cars side by side, they are back markers, and trying to get at the inside of them both is our race leader. Great move. That's exactly how you want to navigate through back markers, but the 46 is through on one of them as well, as is the 21 of Surrey, who gives a little wave as if to say, please let me through. I'm trying to win the race. So yes, successfully navigating through that traffic is the 46 of Liverpool C, and indeed the 21 Matthew Connerbeer, Surrey A, our net second place.
Indeed, yeah, this is all starting to hot up now. As you mentioned, they're all being closed in by this group of back markers. It's so difficult when you're trying to come through. You know, each tenth of a second matters here as you're trying to cut your way through the back markers and keep within earshot of the drivers in ahead of you, and just do whatever you can, gesticulating furiously at the drivers that you're overtaking. Often I find drivers try and give the sort of number one to try and show I'm in the lead here, please let me through. And often drivers will see that and still not bother allowing you through. Nope, no blue flags, mate. You get through the best that you can. I'm still going to race you.
Yeah, and quite rightfully too. Everyone's here to have fun. If you find someone you can race it on track,
even if it's the lead.
Even if it's the leader. Oh, you want to prove yourself against the best, don't you, John?
That is true. I mean, not really proving yourself, you being lapped. Not sure about that
no, but I don't think anyone's going to prove themselves by unlapping themselves and then overtaking within the space of 25 minutes. So you got life's give you lemons. You got to make the lemonade.
Exactly that. Inspirational as always, Jacob. Right then, 8.5 minutes left to go. Still watching this battle for the lead. As you mentioned, it's all closed up. Less than 3 seconds now between the top 5 as they all continue to try and pick their way through this group of back markers. And it's honestly difficult to be able to keep up with who's on the lead lap here and who's not as they head through to the end of lap number 24 of this race. See how the gaps have changed throughout this past lap. There's the 133, the 132 and the 33. few number neighbours there, heading there over the start-finish line. There's the 21 of Surrey A in third place, and it switched then up to second. Go Surrey A. They made that move on Liverpool C, and they put nearly a second in between them. 3 drivers off, and it's Surrey A, one of the leading teams here going into this round. They're spun round there down at Billy's Blind. We didn't see how that one happened, but either way, it's ended up with 3 or 4 drivers facing in the wrong direction. How's that going to reshuffle things?
Indeed, we see the 46 there of Liverpool C have come through that unscathed. I think that's the 78 of Lancaster as well, just in behind them. The 55 of Coventry D, crucially still in the mixer there. So net gain for Coventry D as they still battle it out. Have we still got our race leader, the 52? Let's double check as we cross the start-finish line now. We do indeed. So yes, the 46 and 78 are indeed still involved. Coventry D are the net gained. Loughborough F have gained as well. They're ineligible too. Surrey A, Matthew Conabia was doing so well up to second place until that unfortunate incident. He's now down in 6th. Still ahead of Harris Hubberton in the Imperial A car, but not where he wants to be.
Certainly not the end of the world, though. Only down to 6th place. I mean, we saw with York dropping down from 9th to what was it, 32nd at the time. So that is a race properly going awry. York do still have that fastest lap there in 30 seconds, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen. But 2nd to 6th, not what they wanted, but equally, like I say, not the end of the world for Surrey A. Still going to bag some good points from this one, and they've still got 6.5 minutes to try and gain a few back. Only 7/10 off of the back of Loughborough F, so we'll see what they can do. Well, they're through. They're already through on that past lap. So Surrey A trying to regain some of those points that were lost there down at Billy's Blind a couple of laps ago. Back to 5th place they go, but main gainer from that one is UWEB. 4.5 seconds the gap they now have at the front of the order. We were saying only a lap or two ago it was 2 seconds separating the top 5. It isn't anymore.
Yeah, Ollie Andrews is off down the road. Luckily, we've been watching the 46 and 78, both ineligible drivers, battle it out for what is now second on the road. Coventry D right on the back of them. In fact, this 87 here is a back marker, and whilst Liverpool C have done a fastest lap in getting past them, there may well still be a hold-up for the Lancaster C, which Coventry D could benefit from. Of course, Coventry D in a net second here, and Surrey A still in the net third, John, which is a solid result, and I'm sure they would have been happy with that. All of points at the start of the race, and only 5 minutes to go. I'm not sure Surrey A are going to close that 5-second gap back up to Coventry D. It's now a matter of, can they hold position? Can they keep ahead of that inedible Loughborough F and indeed the chasing car, Leicester B, Imperial A, and St Andrews A, 66.
Indeed, yeah, it's looking pretty good at the moment for the Surrey driver. I know you mentioned when you were chatting with some of the drivers on the grid, not talking to any Surrey drivers. And there were so many of them, so many Surrey suits out on the grid, of course, racing for their own teams and also in and racing with others.
Great move from the 55 there. Coventry D's John McMullen. He's snatched third place there from the ineligible 78 in Lancaster, our Manchester Met driver that started in second place. In lapping Mr. Conroy from one of the lower Surrey teams, he's gone up the inside of both of them. Fantastic move. Net gain in terms of points is absolutely nothing, but net gain in terms of prestige in the BUKC is very, very high in my opinion.
And the Surrey C, they're getting it all crossed up down into the hairpin. They managed to hold on to it though and carry on, losing a bit of time. But equally, slightly further down the order there in 19th place are Surrey C. Like you mentioned though, it was a fantastic move from Coventry D to make up that place on Lancaster C. Just seeing a contact warning coming through for Surrey A though. Need to be a little bit careful here over those last few minutes. Like we say, it looks more a case of just holding position and holding on to those points for the number 21, as here they are, getting another position on a back marker, at least getting track position on that back marker, and trying to put a few more drivers between themselves and the chasing Loughborough F and Leicester B then. Good to see Leicester back on the circuit after they weren't on track at GYG. We won't mention the reasoning for that, but good to, good to see them back here at Clay Pigeon.
Leicester A were cheating.
It was.
In that case. Anyway, they were excluded from the event for a contravention of the rules. Yes, the B team are, as they were at GYG, out on circuit, the number 88. So we're following the 46 Liverpool C. Fastest lap of the race belongs to them. However, the 3.5 second gap to our race leader, Ollie Andrews of Reeve B. There he is, the man himself. Quite distinctive helmet, really, isn't it? That one. Very easy for our cameramen to pick out. Rounds pretty blind for one of the last times. I can't imagine we'll have too many laps after this, probably 3 or 4 more to go. And 3.4 second advantage means that 4 points should be going the way of the University of West England.
Indeed, very impressive race. Of course, had to weather the storm earlier on, properly involved in the squabbling, but was able to make that gap, and since then it's just started to drive away with this one. Consistently down in the 41s, nearly matching their personal best lap time on the last lap, down in the 41.8. So impressive stuff from the 52. Checks over the shoulder, just tries to see where he is in terms of the gap back to Liverpool C and Coventry D. But knows from that check that he can be a little bit more relaxed out there, just keep hitting his markers, keep with that consistent pace, and he is definitely keeping with that consistent pace. New personal best lap time on the last lap, still down in the 41.8, so consistently there in the high 41s, exactly what he needs to do to bring this one home. And it's in quite a nice position as well, given that he doesn't have too many back markers around him, so can just keep it on the black stuff, keep pressing on well, and when he does inevitably catch them, just has enough of a gap to be able to keep it relaxed and make those moves without any contact necessary, and don't want to pick yourself up a silly penalty right in the dying moments and chuck it all away.
No, we followed him for a lap now, and a suspiciously clean lap as well. Here's the 46, also in this length of clear air. Nothing too tasking for each of them as Coventry D now take the fastest lap. We mentioned John McMullen, or we saw John McMullen. Here he is indeed, the man in the black, gold and white suit. That double overtake, one back marker, one full position, has put the fastest lap in to secure that position over the last lap. The ineligible Lancaster C remains in the picture there, but with roughly 2 or 3 laps to go, may struggle to get that position back. Surrey A have indeed cemented their position, net 3rd, 5th overall. In Imperial A now, Harris Warburton, the man with 2 surnames, back up into 6th ahead of the ineligible Loughborough.
Indeed, last minute of this race then, after this one's done and dusted, we'll be halfway through the racing action here for the finale of the Intermediates Championship in 2025. Another good race, this one. I feel like all the races so far have been ever so slightly different in how they've played out. One race, drivers running away at the front. Another race where, this one particularly, where they've been battling throughout at the sharp end. But now as we get to the end of this race, those gaps starting to form. We've now got about 25 seconds between 1st and 10th place. And the top 18 still unlapped for the moment, 19th backwards, all having a lap put on them by the UWEB driver. We head on to the last 815 metres of this race. UWEB still about 2 seconds in the lead.
How long is 815 minutes?
I've got no idea.
It's a hell of an endurance, that, isn't it? What is that, 12 hours roughly? Thereabouts? Like yeah. We don't do that in the BUKC.
Well, we do, 24 hours.
Yeah, we either go very far beyond it or very far below it. There will indeed be a 24 hour this year as well. If you're interested, make sure you register your interest with Molly. But here, rounding the final corner for the final time then. Been a great race for this man. Ollie Andrews opens his visor, clenches his fist and takes the win in race number 3. Congratulations, Ollie. I will be speaking to you on the grid in a few moments' time.
Auto visor closed as well there across the line. Very stylish there for the number 52. Yeah, Jacob heading off there down to the grid to speak to the drivers after that one, but a great race from UWEB. Like I mentioned, weathered the storm early on in that one with some great battling going on at the sharp end of the order. But then after breaking away, able to manage the gap really nicely, pick the way through the back markers and take the win on the road for the number 52 and securing some good points for the University of West of England B team there. Well, as the rest of the drivers find their way to the checkered flag and across the start-finish line, let's have a look at the full results then from race number 3 as we've headed over half distance here for the racing action of the finale of the Intermediate Championship. UWEB taking the win in race number 3, followed by Liverpool C and Coventry D on the road anyway. There were a few ineligibles then in the top 5, followed by Lancaster C and Surrey A, Lancaster being one of those in 4th place. But we saw at one point top 5, top 6 separated by about 2 seconds. Ended up extending loads by the end of that one, as we do have Dob Cam. It's just covered there by the race results, so good to see. Lots of animals enjoying the action here down at Clay Pigeon as well then. Surrey A in the top 5, followed by Imperial A, Loughborough F, Leicester B, St Andrews A and Swansea B there in your top 10. Leeds C, Cardiff B, Coventry F and UWC, then your top 14 there, followed by Leeds Beckett B, Derby B, Reading F, Manchester Met A, Surrey C and Birmingham B, your top 20. They were followed by Brunel A, Brighton B, Brighton A, York A, Manchester Met B, Cambridge C and Leeds A. And then finalising the 36 kart order then in this one was Royal Holloway A, Coventry D, Coventry G. I got that one wrong again. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Warwick C, Swansea C, Surrey D, Coventry E, Exeter B, Huddersfield C and Warwick D. We saw a few races earlier on where drivers were lapped like 4 times in a few of those. That one only 2 for one of the drivers. Look how excited the University of West of England are, though. UWB celebrating their driver's performance with a huge hug there as he jumps out of the car. That's lovely to see. And a big kiss as well. My goodness. I mean, we were talking about people being excited there out on circuit earlier on, and we were speaking about Jacob being sexually intimidating. Well, those 2 drivers certainly not intimidated by his presence. Sounds as though he's almost ready to go there down, is Jacob. He's just getting himself sorted, chatting with the drivers before he gets ready to go. But looks as though we are good to have a chat with our winning driver. Off to you, Jacob.
Here I am with the race winner. Clearly very happy with himself as well.
Was not expecting this. I was not expecting this at all. I think this is the first race win for Yui ever. Is that right? First race win for Yui?
First race win in Inters for a long time.
There you go.
For a long time, yes.
I'll take a long time. Oh, good race.
And exactly what your championship challenge needed as well.
Exactly. We've got one hand on the trophy, which I like. I have just jinxed it. But you know what? I'm happy.
I'm happy for you as well. We'll wait and see what happens with the rest. But obviously, that being your first race, can your teammates emulate that?
Oh, easy, yeah. If I can do it, you guys can. No pressure. Yup.
So you're saying you're like the worst driver?
If we're looking at qualifying, yes, massively so. So, oh, yeah. Whoa. Yeah.
All you needed was a good qualifying.
Exactly. Crazy. When it happens, I do well.
If you weren't so rubbish at qualifying before, you'd have won so many races by now.
I'm working on it.
I can tell. And it's paying off. Congratulations. An excellent performance.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'll let you celebrate with your teammates. There we have it. Ollie Andrews there, winner of race number 3. Let's get on and see who we've got in this next race. I'll just shuffle down the front of the grid. In fact, I think we've got one of our camera operators from the last live stream on this side of the grid. I want to say 5th kart back. And am I looking at this guy or this guy? We are going 1, 2, 3, 4. Here he is. On the other side of the camera.
How are we?
I'm all right, thanks. How are you?
Not bad. Not used to starting this far up. I might get a nosebleed too.
I like your race suit, by the way.
Thank you.
I just like the colour.
45 quid off eBay.
Really? I might have a little look for one myself later on. Not that I race anymore, but it's... How do I describe it? Fashionable. I'm just going to go with fashionable.
We'll go with it.
Does your pace match?
No.
Okay, never mind.
I'd like to go forward, but I reckon I'm going to go backward.
Why do you think that?
I got quite lucky in quali, had a good gap for a decent lap in. We'll see where we end up.
Did you get lucky, or did you get a chance to show off your true potential?
We'll go with that one. It sounds better, doesn't it?
Exactly. And your true potential in this race could be as high as what? 1st, 2nd, 3rd?
We'll go, yeah, sure. Why not? We'll aim high.
You've obviously spent a lot of time studying go-karting, having operated a camera for us at GYG. Yeah. You've done the research. You've put yourself in the best possible position. Well, not the best possible. You could have been on pole, but you've put yourself in a great position. I fully believe you can follow through here and deliver a great result.
Thank you, and I expect if I am backwards, the camera to cut to me immediately.
We'll make sure that we do exactly that. Good luck.
Cheers, thank you.
Let's go see who's qualified at the front of this one. We've not got too long. We've got, is this Dan Gilbert? Have a quick chat with Dan, since it's Dan's last time at BUKC, I believe, is it?
Hello.
Is it your last time?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Did I hear you right earlier when you say you're leaving me?
I didn't want to break it to you live on stream, but I am leaving you.
But Dan, we've been through so much together.
I know. You shared so many things. You saw me naked last night.
Again.
Standard procedure, really. Yeah.
It's weird to see your clothes on, to be honest.
I know.
Nearly didn't recognise you.
I'm not comfortable in this state at the moment.
Well, make yourself comfortable because the race is about to begin. Jump in the car. I'm going to have a quick chat with the man on pole position before Jimbo blows the whistle. Who have we got here for Reading, is it?
Yeah, Reading F.
You're ineligible, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm actually a Reading A driver.
Yes. And what are you doing here then?
One of our guys didn't show up, so tad hungover, but we're going to do a good job.
Why are you hungover?
Well, we had a party last night. You did.
We did. I was there. I was there. You were there. We had a great time.
Having a great time.
Did you participate in the naked lap?
I did.
How'd you get on?
Oh, I went barefoot, so not very well.
Barefoot, to be fair, is the most masculine way of doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well go all out.
Exactly. All out with your balls out.
Pretty much, yeah.
And is that what you're going to do in this race? Well, not literally, but because that's, you know, a hazard to your health. But
well, big balls, but I mean, I've got a big driver behind me, so as in big as in good. So we'll try hold him back as long as we can, but I can't make any promises.
All right, then we'll see how he gets on. Then they're about to get going. The big driver indeed is Jack Finch, and Jack, I'll chat to you after the race if you're lucky. Jack Finch, winner of the super final in yesterday's Drivers' Championship. What can he do here in race number 4?
Great to hear some more of our drivers, as always. Of course, we heard from one of our camera operators there, starting 10th for Manchester Met B. Sadly, the 103 having some car issues, though, as they pulled away from the grid. Hopefully, got that all sorted. And like we said, the winner of the Super Final yesterday in Drivers' Champ, starting in 3rd place in this one, did get pole, but we've got a +2 places penalty in qualifying. We'll be starting on row 2. It's Reading F and Liverpool C ahead of them, though, on the front row. Birmingham C and Hertfordshire A there on row number 2. Birmingham B and Nottingham Trent B there on row 3. Row 4, we'll see UWEP, I'll give that one another go there in 7th place, alongside Coventry H, St Andrews A and Man Met B, they're running out the top 10, followed by Imperial A and Royal Holloway A. Row 7 has UWEC and Warwick B, York B and Leeds Beckett A behind them, then Manchester Met A and Surrey D there on row number 9. Finalising the top 20 on row 10 are York A and Brunel A. No cone penalties this time, please, number 69. Coventry E, Surrey C, Oxford Brook C and Brighton B there, round out rows 11 and 12. They'll be followed by Exeter B, Leicester B, Loughborough E, Warwick C, Cardiff C and Swansea C are the 2 Welsh unis there on row number 15. Watch out for those two battling, followed by Leeds A, Coventry G, UWDSD A, Leeds Beckett B, Brighton A and Nottingham Trent C. Race number 4 then, already halfway through the racing action here for the finale of intermediates in 2025. 46 and a 113 alongside each other as you go to the race start then. Good start from pole position for Reading F as they charge down to Billy's Blind on that inside line. The preferred line to be on heading through lap number 1, and it's worked out for them here as they cut their way through into the S's. A bit of argy-bargy, 1 driver round, 2, 3 drivers around there at the S's. It was one of the Surrey drivers who initially had that spin on the 111 of Surrey D, and 2 drivers followed him in making some rotations. Someone definitely heading off exit stage right there, heading down into the S's. There they are. Is that another Surrey suit potentially having some issues
York
there?
Suit, that
it's
one.
a York suit, that one. We said as we got the race started, we didn't want to see any more issues from number 69 with that cone penalty, the serious cone penalty, as it was stuck between the front right tyre and the other section of the car in the previous race. Looks as though this race hasn't started so well for York either. On to lap number 2 then, move down the inside into Billy's Blind. Nice weighted overtake there to take 3rd place for Brighton B, but still Reading F who lead the way on lap number 2.
Yes, with Birmingham C's ineligible Jack Finch in behind him, and winner of our super final yesterday. He was very, very quick in qualifying this morning, but I think he got a track limits penalty, which is why he wasn't starting on pole position. Big battle then going on for, what was this, 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th. The front 2 have shot off into the distance, but both ineligible. So Hertfordshire A, actually currently in 3rd, are the net leaders of this one. Hertfordshire's got Isaac Gade in, I believe that's a change for lead. Jack Finch up the inside of the first corner. Let's see if Reading F can get back at him. He goes defensive on lap 3 into the hairpin. You're not in the super final now, Jack. You don't need to do that.
I think he's repaying the favour of Reading F. They were defending down to Billy's Blind. That's what chucked them a little bit wide there, trying to hold the inside line on corner entry. Up and under went Jack for the Birmingham C car and has taken the lead. I mean, yeah, he's won the super final, but Inters is where it's at here on day number 2. He wants to take the win here as well.
Yes, this is the can he do it in a cold windy night in Stoke equivalent for BUKC. He's done it in the super final. Can he do it in the middle of an Inters day?
He's still under a lot of pressure there as they head into the first corner. Reading F still trying to fight the Birmingham C car, heading there down through Billy's Blind yet again. Still as they were though, and Reading F activating that human DRS as they head down into the hairpin. They're getting their head right down to the steering wheel, trying to get as aerodynamically efficient as possible. We're not able to find a way back through just yet. Birmingham B then heading up that secondary train. They've got past Hertfordshire A now for third place. Hertfordshire A in the middle of a sandwich there between Birmingham B and Nottingham Trent B as they head into the final corner.
Yep, Ollie Morris, that in the Birmingham car, takes the net lead, the one that will score maximum points should the race finish with two ineligible drivers at the head. Jack Finch setting the fastest lap on that last race at 41.8, which was 3.5 tenths quicker than the Reading F competitor alongside it. We are following, though, the battle, as you can see, for third, fourth, fifth and sixth. We've got Ollie Morris in that Birmingham car. Hertfordshire, who did I say was in Hertfordshire? Isaac Gade. And this is a few cars behind them now as we look at, I think that's Tom Newnham for Imperial. Indeed, it is Tom Newnham. I saw him getting ready on the grid in the 26 cart side by side with the 75. We're looking for the battle over 11th. This is Tom trying to take 11th place from the UEC driver. UEC Seb Connolly.
Indeed, side by side across the line. We'll wait and see how that all played out as they head through this lap and where they end up changing places or not. There is the 26 and the 75 continuing to battle. It's Imperial C now ahead of UWEC then in that battle for 11th place, and continuing to scrap in behind as well, Leeds Beckett A and Coventry E. Coventry E getting past Manchester Met B on the last lap. Of course, as we mentioned, that's one of our camera operators there in the Manchester Met B car. Was surprised that he was so far up the order. Has lost, I think, what's that, 4 places over on the start of this one? He's up 10th or 11th in this one, I do believe, for Manchester Met B. Yeah, it was 10th place. So 5 positions lost, then down to 15 so far. And there's a spin there down at the hairpin. Just losing it there mid-corner for the MS car branded driver. Of course, MS car well known in terms of BPEC and Honda R200 racing, Honda GX200 Pro Kart racing. But a little bit of a spin there down at the hairpin, a less than ideal line. Not the way you want to be facing there down at the hairpin. They're going to lose a couple of places because of that one. The 63 dropping down the order. Nottingham and Trent B then might have been that driver going for a bit of a rotation down at the hairpin. So 8 places lost then from 5th to 13th. The number 63 on lap number 7. Through they continue. There is the number 42 at Birmingham B still in the lead. There is the 63 who went for that rotation. So indeed can confirm it was Nottingham Trent B dropping down the order then. Less than ideal start to their race then, facing in the wrong direction. And their sister team, Nottingham Trent C, had a really poor start to the race, getting 2 penalties before the race had even started. That's all getting a bit too close, and another driver goes round at the hairpin.
Yeah, I can't quite pick out who that was losing out in that battle, but that number of carts into that one corner was never going to work. Dan Gilbert, who we spoke to on the grid, looks to make up a position as well on the 42. That's a great move from him, and in fact I think the 113 of Hertfordshire A as well is up into 3rd place. Dan Gilbert racing ineligible for Liverpool C up into 4th. 42 of Birmingham B, who we mentioned earlier, Ollie Morris losing out 2 positions there, unfortunately for him, but only one of them to an eligible points scorer, and so not too much loss.
Effective change of the race lead then. Hertfordshire A back in front of Birmingham B after they switched around a few laps ago. They re-switched now, and they're confirmed on your timing on the left-hand side of your screen. Now Liverpool C separating the two of them, but as you mentioned there, Jacob, not scoring any points in this one, as you can once again see that it is indeed a Leeds driver behind the wheel. What a surprise.
They're everywhere.
They're literally everywhere here today. They've just basically gone, right, who's got spare seats? We'll have them all.
Like a disease, John.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure Leeds get quite a decent amount of budget from their student union for the BUKC, so it makes sense. If you don't have to pay for those extra seats, why not take them?
And quite rightfully. Student union should be funneling their entire budget into BUKC, in my opinion. Slightly biased. As Anastasia from St Andrews gets in the mix now. She's up into 4th place. Anastasia Terenchenko.
She was battling well in the Drivers' Champs yesterday as well.
Yeah, one of a mainstay, a stalwart, if you will, of the St Andrews team over the past couple of years. Her and Charlie Oliver been racing for them for the last couple of years. We saw Hanson Whips in the barriers for St Andrews earlier on, but Anastasia doing a far better job, and indeed in a net second now behind Hertfordshire's Isaac Gade.
Yeah, good racing from the 66 so far, battling through the order, and like you say, effective second place. Yeah, Mr. Whippy didn't have quite such a great race earlier on, but this one turning around for the St Andrews team. And through they go through the S's, continuing to hound the back now of Hertfordshire A. So this is the battle for the effective lead of the race then. There's the 42 and the 46. Those two have swapped around then. Birmingham B have got back past on Liverpool C. They retake 5th place overall in this one. Effective 3rd place when all is said and done, and penalties and points are sorted out. One driver making it all the way to the barriers there on the exit of the horseshoe. That's a surprising one. We've seen that a couple of times so far today, as they get some assistance from the couple hundred staff to find their way back to the black stuff. But as we say then, battle is on here. Round the outside, trying it is the St Andrews A driver. Will switch to the inside there into Billy's Blind. Can't quite get the overcut though. They'll try the up and under though through Billy's Blind. They're going to get it. Down the inside into the S's goes the 66. And St Andrews A take the effective lead of this race.
Yeah, great work from Anastasia. Oh, there's a bit of contact there, and she does well to hold on to it into the hairpin. Isaac getting a bit out of sorts under braking.
He sort of thought about the move, didn't he, to the inside, then realised maybe it's a bit too late. Tried to dive back in, but it was a bit too late.
Yes, a bit too late for the move, a bit too late to back out of it, and lucky that they didn't collect each other. There's a little bump as well on the exit of the corner from the Birmingham B cart. Ollie Morris.
A bit more of a bump than just a hello, I'm here.
Little tap, little quick tap. Dan Gilbert still behind these, and then we've got the Royal Holloway A cart, and there through goes Ollie Morris on Isaac Gade.
That was maybe a bit more of a hello tap, that one there into Billy's Blind.
Yes, we'll leave that up to the observers to just judge how legal that move was. Yes, we've also got Adam Harding in the lime green, blue and white suit joining the back of this pack, and all over the back of Dan Gilbert's car. There's our man. There he is. Do you like that race suit? I love that race.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
I think it helps that he's got the same helmet as me, or well, a different colour. Monster Energy sticker doesn't help. Quite why grown men seem to want to base their personality on an energy drink these days is far and beyond me. But otherwise, fantastic fashion from that man there.
We have just had ABC bump and pass penalty come through for Birmingham B though. So 4th place on the road at the moment. That's going to drop them down a number of places. Of course, the bump and pass being +4 positions. So that will drop them down to 8th if all is said and done. But obviously it'll be slightly different when the ineligibles are taken away. But like you were saying, one of our cameramen doing a good job up there, to be fair. Started in 10th, down to 15th, like I mentioned. But over the last 4, 5, 6 laps, he's managed to stay there. He's doing well.
Yeah, good on Sam. You can do it. We believe in you. We have faith in you. Imperial A moving up the rankings. Coventry H missing out there. We are back with that battle for the net lead. Anastasia for St Andrews leading this one, the 42. Ollie from Birmingham in behind, and up the inside. We were just saying Adam Harding's joined this battle. He's in the thick of it now. He's bang in the middle of this 5-cart battle. He's worked his way up past Dan Gilbert in the ineligible Liverpool C, and now he's overtaken Isaac Gade as well in Hertfordshire's cart.
Yeah, he's in the thick of it, and everybody knows for sure. Up to 5th place he goes, then on circuit past Hertfordshire A. So another change. Don't forget, although St Andrews A and Birmingham B absolutely nose to tail battling well, I say nose to tail up the inside, potentially there on corner exit into a yellow flag zone though as the barriers are being fixed. So the 42 has to back out of that one. But don't forget, they've got that ABC bump and pass penalty, so they cannot win this race, can Birmingham B. However, what they can do is try and get as far ahead as they can, so it sort of takes away some of how difficult that penalty gets applied at the end. So of course, if you get points ahead on circuit, there's less positions to be taken off at the end. I've explained that really terribly.
It's okay.
Really bad, okay, so I can only...
You can rewind the live stream and listen to John's explanation again if you didn't get it the first time around.
Well, it was awful, don't bother, honestly. Anyway, either way, he wants to get as far up the field as he can, but so does everyone else around him, and that's the difficulty of racing. Perfectly explained it again from me. Birmingham C would still with that fast lap of the race.
Side and through goes Adam Harding. Looking for a move last time into the chicane was Ollie Morris on Anastasia, and now Speaking of moves, Ollie's looking at getting back at him. Dan Gilbert's getting involved as well. He's up the inside of the horseshoe. I was about to say the chicane. That's where the initial move was. And Dan Gilbert hasn't made it stick, actually, up the inside. So Morris maintains position. But Adam Harding now, I believe, is in that net second position. We'll see the timing screen update. There we go. Royal Holloway A up into 4th. Hertfordshire A 5th. And yeah, Ollie Morris down into 6th. Dan Gilbert in 7th for Liverpool C, as is more chopping and changing. This time the 42 does come out on top. Dan Gilbert still looking to get involved, but he's on the outside of the hip, and that won't work out for you, unfortunately, Dan, and you might even lose out to the 52 as well if you're not careful. He is careful though. Good. And in comes the 26 to battle there. It's non-stop fighting for position here. But yes, the 42, the beneficiary there, Ollie Morris, regaining the position on Hertfordshire A that he lost last time out. Anastasia has got a bit of breathing space from these guys now. She's in the 66 further up the road, but may soon have company from Royal Holloway's Adam Harding. We'll see if we can pick those guys up just after we've seen this gaggle of carts come through the chicane. There's Dan Gilbert at the front of this, the 26 and the 52. Battling it out, that's Tom Newnham, as we mentioned earlier, in the Imperial A, and the 52 is UEB's Oscar Coveney. Oscar looking to match Ollie Andrews' heroics from the last race. UEB need to be higher than 9th if they want to get another hand on that championship trophy, as Ollie put it in the post-race interview. 22 now challenging them for position. That's Coventry E. They can do their D team a favour in overtaking Oscar if they can make that stick. It doesn't look like they've been able to going into the first turn, but I'd imagine the Cov E driver will be looking for another opportunity. That's Eamon Saleh, I think, in that kart.
Yeah, it's been impressive so far today from UWB, really helped by that race win in the last one. Doing a good job in this one at the moment as well. Some good heads-up driving from the Imperial A driver as well. I was impressed a couple of laps ago with their reading of the situation as they headed through the horseshoe. Another driver getting caught out by a slower driver, and up and under they went, taking the place away, and up into 8th place they went. Great battling though, and great to see how close the drivers all still are in this battle. I think this is as close as we've had for an effective lead battle so far today. Of course, Birmingham C have cleared off at the front of the order, 41.3. Their fastest lap so far in this one, consistently down in the mid to high 41s as well. Impressive stuff from the driver of the number 72, but not eligible for points then, neither are Reading F in 2nd place. It is still St Andrews A who are 3rd at the moment, holding on to that effective race lead, but Royal Holloway A are all over the back of them. In the battle for 3rd place on the road, the battle for the effective race win then as they head through the final corner and on to another lap of this race. There is the number 52 of UWEB. They've dropped down to 10th place on that last lap, so Coventry E were trying to get that move done. They've managed to finally do it then and shuffle the UWE team back a position and help out their sister team to Coventry E. And into the final 10 minutes we go then, and it's a change at the front of the order. Royal Holloway A have gotten through on St Andrews A. I do believe it was this same driver, Mr Harding, at GYG, who was particularly impressive, batting for the lead for Royal Holloway A. He's doing it again here at Clay Pigeon, and he's just taken it away from the 66 of St Andrews A. Great battlings we had through into the last few minutes.
Solid work from Adam Harding. Of course, right at the front of this one, we do still have our super final winner from yesterday, Jack Finch, who really should have been banned from this. I'll make a point to do that next year, banning the super final winner from intermediates forever. He's got an 8-second lead over Reading F, as you would expect from a man who beat literally everyone yesterday. And Reading F are a further for the 12 seconds. Is that the gap from the leader, John, that we're looking at, or is that the gap between the cars? It's the gap from the leader, isn't it? Yeah, so a further 4 seconds back to Adam Harding, who's just got the better of Anastasia in the St Andrews 66. Tom Newnham there in the 26, looking to get another place. Oh, that's busy. Now, I think that was Anastasia and Adam working their way through back markers going into the last corner. We've still got a third of this race left.
we have, to be fair, still quite a bit of time. I mean, we say always at BUKC they are sprint races, but they are 25 minutes long, which I don't think any other karting championship would consider a sprint race. A decently long race to make sure you're keeping yourself on the black stuff, not making mistakes, not getting silly penalties, and remaining consistent, pressing on through the order. That's exactly what the driver's done there of Royal Holloway A, gaining 9 spots so far in this race. Biggest mover though, Nottingham Trent C, up 21 places in this race from dead last on the grid. They moved all the way up to 15th place so far in this one. Fair play to Nottingham Trent C, but if I remember correctly, which I do, they got a braking formation and a jump start penalty, so maybe assisted by quite a good start in this one.
They were also underweight in qualifying, John. That's where they started.
Right.
At the back, first man on the scales and 300 grams below the weight
300
minimum.
grams,
Yeah,
that's
measured
gutting.
it myself.
That is gutting. Yeah, only 300 grams. That's not even a full lead. That's like 1/8 of a piece of lead there on the cart there. That's,
Yeah, or a big lunch. A big lunch probably is what's tipped him over. I would hope it's tipped him over. I'd hope that he's above that 75 kilos now. Maybe we'll find out at the end of the race. I don't think we've actually weighed yet, so probably
first race.
get on to Dante about that one.
First race we did weigh them.
Of course, yes. I remember being out there waiting. But yes, we haven't weighed for 2, so maybe we'll go for another one. We're not going home after this, so we're not in a hurry to get finished. Up the inside there then is the 113. That's Hertfordshire's Isaac Gade, following the 42 through on the back markers. Birmingham B's Ollie, and the 88 is in the mix there as well as another back marker. I think that's what we saw facing the wrong way at the hairpin earlier on. In this one, Tom Newnham in the 26 is through as well. And this gaggle of karts then battling towards the last 5 minutes of this 25-minute sprint. We've got 2 side by side there. That's 42 taking risks around the outside of the first corner, and looking to get the cut back as well is the 113, and does so. 58 there has been lapped. Quick shot there of Mr. Sam Taylor. There's a kart there. Not quite sure why they've parked up on the side of the straight quite as they have. Maybe an excursion over the sausage has got them all out of shape. In that part of the track, it's around the outside goes to 63. That's the quick line around the horseshoe. I know that for a fact.
No one wants an excursion over the sausage.
No.
Poor way to end the race there for that driver. We saw a lap or so ago though, difficulties when you're coming through the field, because there was a yellow flag section out through the S's. The 76 Manchester Met A was leading the group as they went through, but maybe respecting the yellow flags a little bit too well, going decently slowly through there and just holding up the rest of the drivers. And it can be so frustrating when you're in that situation where you're trying to make your way through, but you know you can't overtake them. You're gonna get a penalty if you do so. But you want to just keep pushing them through and trying to fend off the drivers from behind. But obviously, if you've got some gap to the drivers ahead, you're getting held up. You're just losing time to the drivers in the positions around you. So a frustrating one. Either way, drivers making it through well. It is still, like you mentioned, our super final winner for Drivers' Champs yesterday with the fastest laps in the race, 41.3. The drivers not quite getting close to the pace that we had yesterday in the mains, whether that's simply just due to it being mainly interest drivers out there, or whether maybe slightly different track conditions today, a bit cloudier today than it was yesterday, so maybe a little bit more slidey out there. Drivers not quite finding the same pace as the 26 of Imperial 8 continuing to pick their way through the back markers.
Yeah, it's not quite as sunny. Perhaps that can be affecting grip levels. Sometimes engines prefer a little bit of moisture in the air and a little bit of cool temperatures. Other times you do see that lack of sunshine impacting on grip levels. I imagine that's probably what we're seeing here. Obviously, with our super final winner sat in one of the karts, it can't be for a lack of talent. Around the final corner then, we are following the 2, who is UB Oscar Coveney. Was in the top 10, is no longer in the top 10. Not what UB want. They had a great start to their day, a late start to their day in race 3. They're in races 3, 4, 5 and 6 today, but Oscar in 11th now. Probably not the score that those guys wanted. They've still got another 2 races to go.
And with some ineligibles in front of them, you might still grab them points of the top 10.
It's going to be a net top 10, absolutely. but I imagine Oscar would want to be a few places higher, specifically looking at the likes of Nottingham Trent B, Coventry E, Imperial A, who are scoring points ahead. Obviously the Liverpool C, Dan Gilbert, we've mentioned, isn't scoring points. That's
a bit close there for the 66.
dicey, yeah, that's Anastasia trying to keep ahead of Birmingham B, who've caught right back up to them actually. Ollie Morris looking to make up another position. Anastasia's missed out on the top spot to Royal Holloway's Adam Harding. We mentioned that earlier. Adam in the distinctive lime green, white and blue suit has disappeared from this battle by the looks of things. Got well clear of these back markers and left Anastasia and Ollie to it.
He's cleared off by over 1.5 seconds now, hasn't he? As we come across the line yet again. It closes up. No, it doesn't. Actually, St Andrews come across the line. It's now almost 3 seconds between the effective leader of this race and second place. And, of course, that is because Anastasia are getting stuck in the middle of these squabbling back markers, and they're all still battling for their own positions as well. And look at that, defending goes to 99 down the outside, tries Anastasia, the up and under there on the exit, a bit of side pod to side pod contact there between the two of them, but like we say, no need for the 99 to move out of the way, and 99 probably thinks he's defending position there, battling with lots of drivers.
I'll tell you what's happening here, John. The 99 is York B, the 69, the sex number, is York A.
Penalty for Royal Holloway A.
Oh,
penalty,
dear.
ABC bump and pass to Royal Holloway A. That's plus 4 positions at the end of this race, and St Andrews A have just been re-gifted the lead, but remember, they're still being hounded by Birmingham B.
No wonder Adam has dispatched these back markers in a quick fashion. He's been pushing them out of the way. Can't do that, Adam. You cannot do that. Anastasia re-inherits the lead, but is under pressure from Ollie in the Birmingham B car. These two now on screen with a minute left. Look to be taking maximum points from this one, but who's it going to be?
I think the Royal Holloway driver was just channeling their inner Piers Pryor for that last lap.
Potentially, yes. He's been known to do.
He has been.
Those sorts of...
Watch the stream yesterday if you want the explanation of that one in Drivers' Championships. Right then, less than a minute left to go on the clock. I think leading drivers heading on to the penultimate lap, potentially, of this race. Maybe 3 more. They might squeeze it in. We'll wait and see, though. This is the battle for the effective lead of the race, though. The number 66 of St Andrews A being overtaken there as they headed into the S's by Birmingham B. The number 42, with only a lap or 2 to go, takes the effective lead of this race. Tried to re-overtake, though. Too late down the inside there from Anastasia. It's not going to work. You don't want to make that overtake on the exit as well. You get yourself a bump and pass penalty. Nope, sits back in behind them, but loses first place.
Yeah, there may well be a contact warning coming for that, but nothing more. Anastasia's going to have 1 lap to regain this lead. I'm not sure they'll know that they're fighting for the net lead. Jack Finch is already on the last lap of the race. He's triggered that by crossing the start-finish line roughly 15 seconds ago. Into the first corner, no change for position. The hairpin's going to be the best option, I think, John, to see a change in the net lead for this. Good exit for Anastasia. She's going to go right up onto the bumper, to the inside. No defence from Ollie Morris. And Anastasia gets the move done. Any cutback for Ollie Morris? No. Anastasia will keep this position, and it's going down to the last corner. Jack Finch has crossed the line already. Oh, look at me, I'm Jack Finch. I'm really good at clay. Grow up, mate. Anastasia is the real leader of this race. She's going into the final corner now, and Ollie Morris hasn't got a challenge. So coming round the final bend, the 2 first eligibles, Anastasia ducks down the straight and picks up the race win for St Andrews. Birmingham B come home net second, and Hertfordshire A will pick up the points for third.
Yeah, Hertfordshire closed right back in there at the checkered flag. We had less than half a second between the top 3 there as they came across the line. Fantastic race. Definitely one off, if not the best race of the day here for the intermediates class. That was fantastic action between those two, right through into the last lap. But Royal Holloway A then, Royal Holloway losing out on that one, of course, with the penalty. St Andrews A, the ones grabbing it on the line and grabbing it on the last lap. Brilliant overtake there from Anastasia, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from her in a moment's time when Jacob heads out to the dummy grid as they all head in at the end of that race. And let's look at the final results from race number 4. Of course, provisional results before penalties are applied and ineligibles are taken away. So basically just ignore this. Birmingham C, Reading F and Royal Holloway A, then your top 3 on the road. Birmingham C and Reading F ineligible drivers. Royal Holloway A, a fantastic drive there to third place, but picking up an ABC bump and pass on a back marker will drop them down to P7 overall. St Andrews A then take the win in terms of points, followed by Birmingham B and Hertfordshire A. Those are your top 3 in terms of point scorers. They'll be followed by Imperial A, top 10, followed by UWB, Coventry 8, UWEC and Brighton B there, your top 14. So just outside of the top 10 for UWB, like Jacob mentioned, maybe a little bit frustrated with that, but still some good points towards their championship charge. 15th place for Nottingham-Trent C, they were followed by Warwick B, Leeds Beckett A, Surrey C, Manchester Met B and Surrey D, your top 20. Then next to be Oxford Brook C, Swansea C, York B, York A, Leicester B and Brunel A. And finalising the 36 carts, crossing the checkered flag in that one, Cardiff C, Loughborough E, Leeds A, UWTSD A, Leeds Beckett B, Warwick C, Coventry G, Manchester Met A and Brighton A. 36 drivers making it to the checkered flag then in that one. Another fantastic race. Like we mentioned, I'm really looking forward to hearing from the drivers at the sharp end of that one, battling really, really well. But that is a difficulty when there is ineligible drivers and things ahead. Sometimes the drivers won't know that they're battling over the win. Let's hear from Anastasia to hear if she did know that she's won the race.
Pit lane nearest.
We are just down here in the pit lane, waiting for all those drivers to be weighed. They need to weigh a minimum of 75 kilos to be eligible to score points. We're going to try and pick up our race winner, Anastasia, as and when I can see her. In fact, I can still see she's over there waiting. So we'll grab someone else to have a quick chat with. We've got here, who have we got here in the 81? Who have we got?
I'm Alex Barton and I'm racing for Exeter B.
How'd you get on, Alex?
Well, qualified P25. Made a lot of places at the start, but then I ended up dropping them through the race.
Well, why did you drop them?
Well, it's my first time at Clay, and well, that's my excuse really.
What did you do? What did you do wrong?
So I kept going wide, basically, and then they just cut through. Yeah.
Up the inside?
They just came up the inside, yeah, basically.
No, that'll happen. All right, well, I'll let you get weighed. It's worth a try. Yeah. Tom Newnham, is this your last race ever in BUKC forever?
24, but yeah, here.
Oh, yeah. The 24. How'd you get on?
It was fun. It was really fun.
We saw some of you on the stream.
Oh, did?
Not all of it good, I will say that. You didn't win.
Well, no, I didn't win, no.
Well, that's what I class as good. Dan Gilbert, you didn't do good either.
I mean, to be fair, that was just fun. That's all I wanted today. I mean,
you had fun, then you won, right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't win though, did I?
No, you didn't win. 10th, something like that.
You know what? I had a laugh. That's all I wanted. I qualified B2. I had no idea how, but there are a few penalties here and there. We'll see.
Well, you were on the stream a fair bit. There's plenty to watch back later.
I'll take that then. Thank you very much.
I'll let you get weighed. Anastasia, we think you won that race.
Yeah, did I?
Yeah. Well, ahead of you was a number of ineligible drivers, but I think on the road you were third.
Oh, that's crazy. That's good.
So yeah, you will take full points for that, and long hard battle as well.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so much fun. I enjoyed it. I love Clay.
Yeah. So you got overtaken by, where is he gone? The Royal Holloway man in the lime green and white. I'll let you get on the scales, but come see me afterwards. So yeah, come on over here and feel free to put your lead down as well. We held that the whole interview. But yeah, you battled your way to, I think, third position, of which there was 2 guys off in the distance, ineligible. And then, yeah, we were overtaken by Royal Holloway, but then he got a penalty, so you inherit the win.
That's amazing. I'm really happy with it.
And I believe, I want to say I'm right in saying that's your first BUKC win?
Yeah, that's 100% first my BUKC win.
Well, congratulations.
The final round of the season. That's a beautiful way to finish the season.
Yeah, could be a really good finish to the year. I think Charlie's out next as well, isn't he?
Charlie's driving next.
Just stay away from the scouts.
I mean, Charlie's no stranger to the front of BUKC grids as well. He's had a bit of practice yesterday as well, so it could be a good day for St Andrews.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. We'll see how Charlie will do, and hopefully it will end up being a great day for us.
Well, congratulations on your first win. I'll let you get back to your team. Let's head out on the grid. Apologies if you can hear Jimbo saying nearest to the scales 100 times over the tannoy. Just giving some drivers some instruction there. But let's go and see who's in our next race then. Race number 5, penultimate race of the day. Are you in this race?
I am indeed, yes.
Who are you?
I'm Joe Benson.
Joe.
B.
Leicester B's Joe. Joe, what are you going to do in this race?
Hopefully go up. I'm starting 34th, so...
Yeah, you do want to go up from 34th, Joe, I can confirm. Joe there for Leicester B, starting 34th, got some improvement to do. Let's see who's at the opposite end of this grid. We've got the purple dressed Mr. Williams. Explain to us the colour choices.
I love the colour purple. That's
yeah, we got that.
That's about it, to be honest.
Okay.
I got this custom suit because it matched with the helmet.
Oh right, so
Lewis Hamilton helmet, yeah, from when they did something with Bell.
Still we rise. There it is. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I was going to ask, but it matches quite nicely.
Yeah, I think I got the suit first and then the helmet after, and coincidentally, it's very, very similar colours, and it looks nice.
And it looks like you've hit a purple patch of form today. You can use that on yourself later if you want to. Second place on the grid.
Yeah, I'm pretty chuffed with that. It was an interesting qualifying, lots of yellows. It's about 3/10 slower than my practice time as well, but it's the race that matters.
Yeah, so if you can go 3/10 faster, then it's boding well for you. Don't quite know who's lining up on pole position because there's no one in the car, but maybe, it's Charlie Oliver. I'll have a quick chat with Charlie in a minute, but you fancy your chances?
If I make it through turn 1, that's the most important thing. Just survive and then settle in, and then we can go from there.
All right, then. We'll keep an eye out for you on the stream. We were just talking about Charlie to Anastasia, who won the last race, and I'll grab a quick word with him. Charlie, already a race winner this weekend, and we've just seen St Andrews take maximum points from race 4. Can you do the same in race 5?
I hope so. We're going to see, because the quali was quite tight, but feeling confident. Hopefully the rain stays away, and yeah, we just try and be clean and do our best job.
Well, I've just spoken to our man there in second. He reckons he went 3/10 quicker in practice than he did in qualifying, so he might have the measure of the year, Charlie.
He might. We'll have to see. He's going to have to see what happens on the start, first of all.
Yeah.
We'll have the inside, so that's always good.
Are you at all worried about the weather?
Yes, yeah. We'll have to, 25 minutes is quite a long time, so it could change. And of course, it's the same tyre for everyone. It's slick for everyone, so we'll just try and be silky smooth and keep it on the black stuff.
All right, then. I'm going to let you crack on with your car because I think your teammates have been told off for not having the number plate and stuff on. We've got Coventry here. Is this Coventry D? Who have we got? Come over and have a chat. Coventry D, our highest placed championship challengers in this one. Who have we got?
Aaron Payne, Coventry D.
Aaron, you've raced a number of races this season for Coventry D. Is this your best qualifying?
No, I put it on par at GYG.
Oh, wow. You're going to have to win to make up for it then, aren't you?
Yeah, that's the goal ultimately, I think, yeah.
But beat Charlie.
Qualifying was so terrible. It was yellow flags the whole time, so not much you could do there.
Yeah. Other than not spin out yourself, which I assume you did.
No.
Yeah, but not spin
out.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Double negatives. I'm not very good with English language today. I went out last night and my brain's not fully functional today. But have a good one. I've got faith in you.
Thank you.
Aaron there from Huddersfield. Let's have a quick chat with someone in a vibrant suit, I'm going to say. The new Brunel custom job. Who have we got here?
I'm Jarrell from Brunel A.
Jarrell, you raced yesterday, didn't you, in Drivers' Champs? How'd you get on?
I think, considering I haven't been here before and I hadn't raced against mains drivers, actually it went well, even though we ended up P32 in the A final. But I made the A final, so...
Hey, that's great, that's great. And this is, I want to say this is your first or second year in BUKC, is it?
This is my first full season in BUKC. I did qualify.
A final in your first full season then, and fourth on the grid for this one. What can we expect to see from you in the next 25 minutes?
Of course, we've got to aim for the win, but I see a championship battle ahead of me, so I don't want to get too involved, but it's looking good. We just have to see.
All the best, Jarrell. I will keep an eye out for you and your lovely blue and yellow Brunel suit. Let's dive in somewhere in the middle of the grid. And this nice Imperial Stilo helmet we've got here. Who we got?
Hello, how are you doing?
Is your knee okay?
My knee, yeah, it's fine. I just don't
want
I want to have a good night's sleep tonight,
Yeah, and you like to grip the fuel tank tightly with your knees.
Stability.
Yeah, okay. What are we going to see from you in the next 25 minutes?
I hope not me in the grass. Make some positions up. See what I can do.
All right, then. I've just had the thumbs up from the staff, so you get yourself started. This will be race number 5, the penultimate race of the day. Back over to John in the comms box.
Here we go then, race number 5 of the day. As Jacob mentioned, only 2 more left to go here at Clay Pigeon, and that'll be racing action done for 2025 in the BUKC. Of course, mains completed yesterday, and we finalise it here with the inters. Let's crack on with the grid then for race number 5. My grids are all weirdly wrong on my computer. I'll trust the ones on the screen. St Andrews A and UWB on the front row, then Coventry D and Brunel A on row 2, with Cambridge C and Birmingham C there on row number 3. Row 4 has Lancaster C and Edinburgh B. Then Birmingham B and Warwick B round out the top 10. Imperial C and Cardiff B there on row number 6. Row 7 has Leeds Beckett A and Nottingham Trent B. Then it's Oxford Brooks E, Coventry E, Hertfordshire A and UWE D there. And then rounding out the top 20 are Manchester Met B and Warwick C. They're followed by Leeds B and Leeds C and all Leeds, row number 11, followed by Southampton D and Swansea B. Then row 13, unlucky for some, will it be unlucky for Derby B and Leicester A? They'll be followed by Liverpool C, Huddersfield C, Imperial A and Loughborough E, rounding out the top 30. And then finalising the grid of 36 carts will be Exeter B, Leicester B, Leeds A, York A, Brighton A and Loughborough F. Drivers heading around the final corner then, getting ready to go here for the penultimate race of today here for BUKC Inter's action. Looks like we're carrying on round the cut through yet again, so not underway this time. Some stragglers at the back, just joining the back couple of rows of the grid before we start this race number 5 of the day then. A few teams as well that we saw battling in the front in the last race up near the sharp end for this one as well. So definitely still on the cards for some good results, and of course continuing to battle for the championship here. And it's all coming to a head with 2 races to go, Mr. Jacob.
It is indeed. Apologies for my lateness getting back to the comms box. I was accosted by Jack Finch outside. He's not happy with some of the commentary, apparently. But luckily I'm a lot harder than he is, so he backed down quite sharpish.
What do you mean by that?
It's implied, John. It's implied in my discourse.
Okay, good. Good to know. Right then, drivers looking about ready then to get this race number 5 underway for today's action then. Has my grid sorted itself out? Yeah, it finally has on my screen then. So we're looking forward to the 66 and the 52. Thumbs up there as we get this on ready to go. St Andrews A and UWEB alongside each other as we get ready for race number 5 to kick off. And let's see if the 52 of UWEB can channel their inner Lewis Hamilton as they head down towards the first couple of corners, trying not to jump start as they get shuffled towards Billy's blind, and they managed to do so. Heading through the right-hander and all getting a bit close. That poor cone's got absolutely destroyed there, and it's continuing on round for an entire lap of Clay Pigeon. It finally finds itself settled there at the edge of the first couple of corners, and one driver taking to the grass in avoidance there as they all try and make their way down towards the first hairpin. Big moves there in the mid-pack. The 78 getting a little bit crossed up, but managing to keep it all facing in the right direction. That was Lancaster C getting shuffled wide, but continuing on through this first lap of racing. It looks as though we've not had any drivers facing in the wrong direction. Very impressive.
No, we did have Simon Ram in the 72 going across the grass though.
That's true.
Grazing, you could say. Simon Ram. Yes, Charlie Oliver maintains the lead out in front. We've got Coventry D up into second place. That's Aaron Hayne. I spoke to him on the grid. And then the purple-clad UEB of Ryan Williams is in third position. There he is there in his matching suit and helmet. He gives a little hand gesture, I think, to Aaron Hayne in the Coventry cart. They both need to work together, realistically, to keep up with Charlie Oliver, who's got a little bit of a gap. Jarrell Julius in the 39, Brunel A cart in behind them. And here's a positive for you, John. Top 4, top 5 even, top 6, all eligible for points.
Wow, fantastic. It's probably the first time today that we've seen that. A proper scrap out for the lead, genuinely on circuit. St Andrews A, fastest on lap number 2 there. We had quite a few big movers on that first lap. A few drivers gaining 6, 7, 8 positions on the first lap. So doing a good job through all of the chaos. And the poor destroyed cone there down at Billy's blind. But here are those 3 leaders, all squabbling for position. And like you say, all squabbling for the actual winning points out there on circuit. Only 2 minutes into this race, and already St Andrews doing a good commanding job at the sharp end of the order. The 86 diving down the inside, 63 trying to follow him through. That's Leeds Beckett A and Nottingham Trent B, both through on Edinburgh B.
Through on Brunel A, actually. Edinburgh B are already ahead of Gerald Julius. That's Glenn Williamson making up places for Edinburgh. So as we go into our third lap, someone in the barrier there, we've got St Andrews A's Charlie Oliver, followed by 3 of our championship contenders in a row. Coventry D's Aaron Hayne, Ryan Williams of UEB and Glenn Williamson of Edinburgh B. So this really is the battle of the day, John. Top 4 drivers, 3 contending for the championship, 1 potentially challenging for the round after Anastasia gets that win in the last one. The cream of the crop in Inters are the first 4 positions of this race.
Bit of a late move down the inside there into the horseshoe from the 64 of Edinburgh B. There was a bit of a wallop there on the side pod of UWEB, but I think they've given the track position back to the number 52, and they live to fight another day here as we head on to lap number 5. But yeah, like you say, good to see all the championship contenders right up near the sharp end in this one. Qualifying going well for all of them, as that's a bit of a wide moment there for the number 29. Going to lose 2 places because of that one. There's a bit of a wide moment there for the 29. That was Warwick B heading off to the outside.
There, around the outside. As I said to the XP driver I interviewed by the scales, that's not the line you want to be taking. Really, drivers will just go straight up the inside of you. They are merciless.
They did. Birmingham B and Lancaster C both slipping on through, but Birmingham B have just got themselves an ABC bump and pass penalty. So maybe we could put 2 and 2 together, and maybe that's from that incident there down at Billy's Blind. Change for 4th place though. Slipping back are Edinburgh B. Outside of the top 10 go Edinburgh B. What has happened to them? They're in the pits. Edinburgh B are in the pits.
What's happened to them? What has happened to them? That's a strange one that we must have missed out on. So we still do have championship contenders here in Coventry D, Aaron Haynes and UEB.
Don't worry, Stuart's on the case. He's hot-footing it out there to see what's going on with
excellent. I wait his verdict. But yes, Charlie Oliver's got a bit of gap at the front. He did have the fastest lap. That's been taken by Trent B. Cov D and UEB staying in touch, I would say, as we see the 72 go side by side with Cambridge C, I believe. Them start finish straight. Here we are then with 2nd and 3rd. There's Charlie Oliver shrimping down the straight in 1st, trying to get a bit of a lead. We are expecting rain, John. We are expecting rain.
It has definitely, the atmosphere has changed, hasn't it, over the last sort of 10 or 15 minutes. The clouds getting a bit darker out there, and yeah, you can feel the pressure change out there. Maybe a bit of rain coming then. Will it come before the end of racing action though? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I thought you meant the atmosphere between me and you. The sexual tension is through the roof at the moment. But you are right, it could rain shortly.
The look you gave me earlier when talking about the championship battle, mate, it got me in a hot flush.
I've thrown a few your way so far, John. You haven't picked up on all of them, but it's an increasing amount that you are realising now, and yes, that shower could well be on the near horizon.
What, for us, or you mean outside? Well, looking back at the racing then, 1.3 seconds between St Andrews A and Coventry D now. They're storming ahead in this race, unfazed by the drivers in behind, and continuing to work together well at Coventry D and UWEB. Whether that's out of choice or not, we're not sure, but St Andrews continuing to put a nice little gap between themselves and then the drivers in 2nd and 3rd place. Less than 20 minutes left to go in this race then. Gap remains pretty stagnant there, as it's a new personal best for Coventry and UWEB, but only St Andrews and Coventry D down in the 41s at the moment, both down in the 41.9s, but it is fastest lap for St Andrews at the moment. What news can you tell us?
So Glenn Williamson is out of the race for Edinburgh B. It's not great news for our championship contenders, however we aren't certain of the reason why. If it's a mechanical, there's a chance they could get points of position there, which would, I believe, be 4th, which I think they'd be reasonably happy with, but that remains to be seen. It could be crash damage, which they do not get points of position for. It could just be that drivers giving up. I wouldn't suggest that that's the case. It's probably the least likely of the things I've just suggested, but we'll wait and see what happens with them. The battle rages on between Coventry D and UEB. I say the battle, it's more of a collaboration raging on there. Charlie Oliver coming up to the first of the back markers. Charlie got some practice in yesterday. He won a heat in Drivers' Champs. He wouldn't have had to deal with back markers, certainly not back markers this slow, in 10 minutes heat yesterday. But this is a 25-minute sprint in the BUKC, and we're 7 minutes in, and he's already coming up. Oh, the 117 there, being a bit naughty, if I do say so.
Just a bit of argy-bargy there down at the hairpin.
Probably shouldn't do that. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, we don't want any more repeats of that, though. It's surprising that Birmingham, if they've come in for a mechanical flag, it's surprising for a driver to notice a mechanical issue before the Club 100 staff do around the circuit, unless something it's seriously cataclysmic for them, some engine issues that's causing like no power or something maybe. But like we say, still don't know the reasoning for it. Either way, Birmingham B out of the race, and like you say, that is catastrophic for their championship charge.
What they would have wanted going into this race. As the inside goes Josh.
and we are back with second and third. A kart length between them. Kart fills that length as well. Charlie Oliver has navigated through back markers. Here he comes. There he is. He's got 2 more to go in this gaggle. There's 69 there, the sex number at the front of them, followed by the number 88. That's York and Leicester B, and around
That was the 92, I believe.
goes the 92 of Derby B.
Yeah,
Oliver Child, I think, in that one, although I'm not 100% sure with Derby B. I think, no, Derby C, that will be Oliver Child, I think, as Charlie races on around the final.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time for Derby B there, getting overtaken by some of the leaders, just turned in, and there was a kart there on his inside, and round he went. Impressively so, though. Another late move down the inside.
Charlie, what have you done?
Goes the 66, St Andrews A from the lead of the race, and who's that that's joined him in the barriers as well? Your leader making a dive down the inside there into the first corner. Too late on the brakes. Door is closed by the back marker, and now the 55 of Coventry D into the lead of this race. And this collaboration might turn to whatever the opposite of collaboration is between Coventry D and UWEB, as they now realise that they're in the lead.
An absolute calamity for Charlie Oliver. He dived down the inside. I don't think the move was on.
No.
It didn't look to me like he was alongside him. The 69 turns in, and they both end up going round. I mean, it might even end up with an ABC takeout for Charlie there.
It has.
It has. Yeah, thought it might do. He's taken out the 69 of York A. Not only is that the sex number, it's the unlucky number for Charlie Oliver. He is not going to win this race. However, these two may well do so. The 55 of Coventry D leads now. That's Aaron Hayne. He's battling with the 52 of UEB, Ryan Williams. We spoke to both on the grid. Ryan in his distinctive purple get-up. Aaron looking to round off Coventry D's day. This is their last race, their last chance to score points on the board, and if he gets the maximum, then he's done absolutely all he can to put his team in the best position to win this championship. UEB still have Kurt Fowdry to come in race number 6. Surrey A still have Yasser bin Sayul to come in race number 6, and our other championship contenders who are out of this one may still get points position. Edinburgh B, they are, and I've lost them on my tracking system, still have a driver to come as well in Alistair Murrenson. So Coventry D, the only championship contending team to finish their racing with this one. They are finished for the season here.
Edinburgh B are out of the race.
Edinburgh B have Alistair Murrenson in the next one, is what I was saying. So this is the last racing for Coventry D, the last opportunity they'll get to get the most points on the board as possible. UEB's Ryan Williams could spoil the party, and he's going to look to here, up the inside, into the chicane. Ryan Williams retakes that position that he lost right at the start of this race, takes the lead of race number 5, leads into the hairpin, and will want to hold that for the next half of this one, John. We are approaching the halfway stage.
Indeed, yeah, nearly already halfway through this race. Change for the lead then between these two. Good move from UWEB, read that really nicely, put the kart where he needed to, heading through the S's, and takes away that position at the front of the field. I was going to say a fair play to St Andrews after getting back on circuit. They only rejoined in 8th place. They then dropped to P10, and now they're back into 8th place. But a change slightly further up the order then, or are we just looking at the gaps between the leaders and the driver in behind then?
We are. Look at them, they're right there, John.
They're already there,
on screen, 63, closing in on the 55, looking up the inside of the hairpin, but thinking better of it this time round. This is a full car battle, John. We've got Leeds Beckett A as well, who won a race earlier, don't forget, with their captain, Mr. Thornton, winning race 1, was it?
I can't remember.
They all merge into one when you're having as much fun as I am.
As well.
Alfie Thornton did indeed win race number 2. And we've got, who is this then in race number 5 for the number 86? We've got Callum Rankin.
He set the fastest lap, only 2 laps to go, so got some good pace under him as the number 86.
Yeah, they are closing in to make this a 4-way battle for the lead. Now that Charlie's back in 8th, so he's recovered from that, and he's hot on the tail of Imperial C in 7th, so he may still make up a few places. But with that penalty as well for ABC takeout, I believe that's a 6th place penalty. Currently not in the top 10.
Not ideal. There was a lapse in judgment as one of the Imperial drivers is off there down at the hairpin. We'll see them getting shuffled down the order once they come through over the start-finish line to start a new lap of this race. Our leaders lead us on to lap number 19 of this one. Still 12 minutes left to go. As the 52 of UWE tries to cut his way through a back marker there, the number 92. I believe that's one of the Derby drivers that they have overtaken there. As the 55 and the 63 then follow them through. It looks as though on the last lap, though, it's not been an ideal lap for Leeds Beckett A. That gap actually increasing somewhat as it goes back over 2 seconds once again there between Trent B and Leeds Beckett A. But these three closing back up into a train once again then as they've cleared that back marker. And who can take the win by the end of this race? It's all going to be pretty close. It's all going to be pretty feisty. And Trent B looking to be the ones on the attack then. After some good pace earlier on, they've closed down this battle. They're going to go for it into Billy's blind. Down the inside goes Nottingham. Trent B through into second place, and now it's only clear where they've hit the cone. They've hit the cone on the inside though. They've hit the barrier out of the way there on the right-hander of the S's. That's surely got to be a penalty coming through for the number 63. Just as we say, they're on a charge towards the leader. They might end up being ineligible to win this race, but no, Leeds Beckett A have just got themselves a penalty for ABC takeout. They're falling by the wayside, all of the contenders here in this one. Another penalty comes through for Leeds Beckett A, then ABC takeout for themselves. That's plus six positions, at the end of this one. They might even drop outside of the top 10. It's all going awry for some of our contenders.
I tell you what, the drivers who aren't punting back markers out of the way are doing all right in this race. The ones who are seem to be suffering for it, namely Leeds Beckett A and St Andrews A, as Harrison there replaces that cone. I'm not sure that they've seen what you saw on the live stream, John, in terms of officials. And Sammy Butt in second place for Nottingham Trent, although for how much longer we will see.
He's a lucky boy.
He's a lucky boy,
He's a lucky
and
boy.
He's might get unlucky here. I think he has got unlucky. He's lost second place. It's regained by Aaron Hayne in Coventry D up the inside of the final corner. And is that the Leeds Beckett 86 with them as well? It is indeed, with the penalty, of course. So not going to be able to win this one, but right up there with them now. This is a battle over second place. UEB, Ryan Williams is gone. He's 2 seconds up the road. And inside goes Sammy Butt through the chicane. Good move, that one. Retakes second place.
That was a bold one there to stick it on the inside. Barely had a small section of the front nose cone up the inside, and following through then a Leeds Beckett A up to third place. They go on the road. Of course, don't forget a plus 6 position penalty for that ABC takeout earlier on. But getting stuck behind that back marker for a lap or so, these three, has just really helped UWEB. It's 2 seconds now, the gap between your leader and this battle for second place. So as long as they can just keep calm, keep considered, and not take anyone out, it looked to be pretty good for this race win, and that's going to be race win number 2 of the day, isn't it?
It is, yes. Someone on that balcony is doing their very best to get their hand on this live stream.
Well, they did it.
Perhaps someone who's looking for a modelling contract for piano work or something like that. So yeah, Callum Rankin up into third place. He's the fastest man on track, closing in on Sammy Butt. He has got an ABC takeout, which, as you rightfully said, is 6 places. Can he navigate his way past Sammy Butt without taking him out? No, he can't, not on this lap. And in fact, in having a look, he's opened himself up to Aaron Hayne, coming back up into third place for Coventry D. He'll cross the line ahead. There we go, the three of them. And Sammy Butt's got a little bit of breathing space after that overtake for Hayne. They're coming up to loads of back markers as Rankin dives up the inside of the first turn. Aaron Hayne cuts back under him into the chicane. And now, here we go, John. 2 back markers to navigate. The 102. Up the inside goes Sammy Butt. Nice and easy. Oh, that's a dive from Callum Rankin. And may have made contact there and pushing Coventry D wide. We will see what the officials make of that. Willie Chew observing down at the hairpin. An astute observer, if I do say so myself. And yeah, through goes Sammy Butt then on the second of our back markers. Followed through by Callum Rankin, who kind of tuck him out of the way. And yeah, Cov D still behind those two after going wide at the hairpin. Contact or not, I will let Will Chew decide.
Indeed, well, it looks as though Leeds Beckett might have got lucky again out there on circuit. It doesn't look as though a penalty's coming through, so I think the number 86 needs to buy a lottery ticket on the way home this evening. Lots of luck flying the way of the Leeds Beckett A driver, but either way, it doesn't get called. That's it. Manchester Met B, mechanical flag. It'll be raced over early for the number 103, sadly for them, as the drivers continue to pick their way through the back markers. That gap now to the leader of UWEB, 2.5 seconds. back to Nottingham Trent B. Impressive stuff from the driver of the 52 to continue siding on ahead, because don't forget, we're watching these drivers pick through the back markers, but UWEB would have done it a lap or two ago. They've had to get through the exact same back markers in the exact same way, just doing it a little bit better and extending that gap. When I say that, it wasn't quite as good on that last lap. Less than 2 seconds, sorry. Now the gap between the 52 and the 63, 1.9 as they head onto lap number 26. And squabbling continues there as they head through, as Leeds Beckett A piling on the pressure to Nottingham Trent B, trying to take away second place on the road. Can't quite do it this time, I'm asking her.
Yeah, the best thing Leeds Beckett can do is get as many positions as possibly can. The highest they can finish is 7th, and they do that by winning. So every overtake still counts. They will, in effect, lose it, so losing the position doesn't matter as much, but gaining it very much does. We've seen the 72 there of Simon Ram. We saw him go across the grass on lap 1. He's had a good recovery up to 5th, and he's closing in on these two actually, or more specifically on Aaron Hayne in the Coventry D kart, as round the outside of the hairpin. I'm not sure that's the place to do it, Callum. Yeah, drops car length back for his efforts there. Still 6 minutes left of this one, so plenty of time to see some more action. Whether it will involve Ryan Williams in UEP, I'm not too sure. He seems to have solidified that lead up front. Sammy Butt gets his head down on the straight to catch up with this next gaggle of back markers. He got 4 or 5 of them to face down once he's navigated through the chicane.
Leeds Beckett A sort of grabbing every opportunity that opens up for them. They really need to sit back a little bit and try and plan out these moves a bit more. They're just going for every opportunity that opens up, and it's not really worked out too well the last couple of occasions they've tried to get through on the 63 of Trent B. Now Trent B right in the middle of this back marker squabble. They're going to get forced to the outside. This might benefit the Leeds Beckett A driver, and it will. To the inside goes a 66, trying to dive down the inside of a couple of back markers on the exit as well. I'm trying to gesticulate to the 69 of York A that I am ahead of you on track. Please sit back behind. And to be fair, York A listened to them that time.
Yeah, this is the sex number, John, and he's listened to the hand gestures of Callum Rankin, who maintains second position, I think. There's our race leader, Ryan Williams, now 3.5 seconds up the road, and we pause now to see a few more back markers, and there's the 86 and the 63, a hand in the air from Sammy, but I'm not quite sure what that was signalling. But he follows Callum Rankin through the horseshoe now. Still 2 back markers to navigate. Callum, oh dear. I think that Warwick driver saw Callum Rankin gesturing and tried to get out of the way, but in doing so got in the way of our Nottingham Trent B driver, Sammy Butt. And there's Charlie Oliver as well, back in the mix.
Indeed, yeah, all this back marker action has held up these two, and more drivers joining the fray. We've got Coventry D and Birmingham C now joining the back of this party, and St Andrews A are with them as well. So 3 new drivers joining the fray then in this battle for second place as we head into the final 4 minutes.
Simon Ram up the inside of Coventry D. Aaron Hayne loses out. And yep, Simon Ram up into 4th place for Birmingham C at the expense of Coventry D, who've also lost out to St Andrews A. Charlie Oliver, I think, the 66. Recovering from that altercation with a back marker out the first turn. Yes, Coventry G dropping down the order. This isn't how Aaron Hayne would have wanted the last part of this race to go. He's dropping down the positions. A few penalties ahead of him, but he's not going to be scoring as many points as he perhaps hoped for 5-10 minutes ago.
Indeed, yeah, just slipping down the order as those drivers catch him up here into the last few minutes of this one. St Andrews doing a good job of neutralising the penalty from earlier on. Of course, you saw them drop down to 10th place after the slightly over-aggressive move on the back marker into turn 1. That saw him go off and spin, and now he's got a +6 penalty for an ABC takeout as well. So still currently, as things stand, he'll be finishing in P11. He'll try and grab a few more positions. Maybe he'll break his way back into the top 10 in terms of points. Right then, just less than 3 minutes left to go here in race number 5, the penultimate race of the day, the penultimate race of the season here in BUKC Inters. And we carry on watching this battle there through the first couple of corners. The 63 trying to thread the needle and spun round. Round goes the 63 into the barriers. Trying to get past the back marker there was Nottingham Trent B. They're going to drop to the back of this pack for second place at least, and maybe even a few more.
Yeah, Sammy Butt trying to get up the inside of the chicane there, and unfortunately the back marker just held on. Wrongly, in my opinion. I think very much should have yielded there. And as he's still got his front wheels alongside Sammy Butt's rear wheels. He tips him round and out they both go.
Indeed, lost the place there to Lancaster C. So I think they've settled in 8th place then. Be confirmed on your timing in a moment's time, but that's quite a few seconds off of the battle for second that they were in only a moment ago then. 9th place as Cardiff B made it through in all of that. So 9th place for Nottingham Trent B. 2 minutes left to go. We were saying a lot of time yesterday, oh, it's been a bad incident for them, but at least they've done it early on in the race. They've got the opportunity to chase them back down. It's only 2 minutes to go, and it's all gone wrong for Trent B. No time to
Charlie
get back
Oliver
through.
at the inside of Simon Ram there at the horseshoe, and Simon Ram's going to hang on around the outside, actually have the inside line for the next 2 corners. You can see them side by side there. Also battling is Aaron Hayne. Aaron Hayne's got ahead of both of them, I think.
He has, yeah. Coventry D
No,
ahead
Simon
then.
Ram still leads. Aaron Hayne wasn't in front. I don't know what I was looking at then. Apologies, Coventry fans, if you got very excited there. I don't know what I was looking at. But Simon Ram holds position. Charlie Andrew tried to dive up the inside at the horseshoe. They've got Callum Rankin not far ahead of them at all, but I don't think they're going to catch him if they carry on with this battle. In fact, yes, you can see him going through your shot there. They've clearly got the pace to catch up with him, but with probably this being the penultimate lap, John, I think they're just going to battle to the end.
Doesn't matter anyway, and they're going to be gaining those positions when the penalty is applied anyway for the ABC takeout from Leeds Beckett A. In
Well,
this race anyway.
Charlie's penalty will be applied first, so Charlie won't benefit. Birmingham C, however, are ineligible. The problem we've got, are we on the final lap? We're not. We've got 2 more laps to go. So the penalties will be applied by position, so Charlie will lose 6 positions from where he is now. And then the rest of the penalties will be applied, and then Leeds Beckett will lose theirs. So I don't think Charlie will benefit from the Leeds Beckett penalty. And also, the Birmingham C means that Leeds Beckett will, whilst they'll drop 6 positions, with Birmingham C not scoring points, they won't drop 6 positions worth of points.
Yeah, exactly that. Again, making it nice and confusing for us in the Coventry Box to try and work out what's going on throughout today and what's going on in terms of the championship then. Timer ticking towards 0. Looks as though the UWE B driver is going to lead us onto the last lap, and he does. A gap between himself and second place now, 6 seconds as they head onto the final lap. New fastest lap on the penultimate lap of the race from Birmingham C. Very impressive.
Yep, Simon Ram putting some solid pace down after that early race grass cutting. Good recovery from him, good recovery from Charlie as well, who spun himself out, trying to get past the back marker on turn 1. Here, though, is our race leader, Ryan Williams. All purple and black, Lewis Hamilton inspired helmet. He's got a custom race suit to match his lid, and he comes round to make it the 2nd successive UE victory here today. Great stuff from UE. Over the line in 2nd place comes Callum Rankin. Simon Ram picks up 3rd, but he's ineligible for points. Charlie Oliver 4th for St Andrews, but both of those guys have got penalties as well.
Another great race then, as we head through to the end of race number 5. You could see, or we could see out the window, hopefully you can see it on the stream as well, the UWE team all celebrating as their fellow driver came across the line to take the win in race number 5. And like we say, that's 2 wins from today then for UWEB. They're looking pretty good here to press on towards the championship, or at least finish really, really strong here at Clay Pigeon with a double race win. Very impressive stuff then. Let's have a look at the full final results there from race number 5 before we get into the last race of the season for British University's Karting Championship Inters classification. UWEB then win it ahead of Leeds Beckett A. They'll have a +6 to be added on. Birmingham C ineligible there in 3rd place. Oh, ineligible. I was getting that one wrong. St Andrews A again, their 4th place, but a +6 for an ABC takeout will drop them further down the order. They were followed across the line by Coventry D, then Brunel A and Cardiff B, Birmingham B, Nottingham Trent B and Lancaster C there in P10, followed by Cambridge C, Leicester A, Coventry E and Swansea B. Outside of the top 14 though, in 15th place it was Oxford Brook C, they were followed by Imperial C, then Warwick B, Southampton D, Leeds C, Loughborough E rounding up the top 20. Behind them were Hertfordshire A, Imperial A, UWE D, then Huddersfield C, Warwick C, Leeds B, Brighton A, Exeter B, Liverpool C and Leeds A, your top 30. They were followed by Leicester B, Loughborough F, York A, Derby B, Manchester Met B and Edinburgh B. Of course, we lost Edinburgh on the first couple of laps of that race, diving into the pit lane. We still don't know what the issue was, but either way, that is a real hindrance to their charge towards the front end of the championship here at the final round of the season. Either way, not finishing the race in that one were Edinburgh B. Less than ideal. Right then, Drivers leaving the grid from race 5. Drivers for race 6, the last race of the season, getting ready to go. Let's have a chat with some of them. Down to you, Jacob. We tried to head down to Jacob. Sadly, couldn't hear him. I mean, that's honestly probably more of a positive, to be honest, that we couldn't hear Jacob. But we'll try and get that sorted and head back down to him and hear from our race-winning driver, the driver from UWEB in that race, the number 52. They're doing an absolutely stellar job there in the second-to-last race of the day. Of course, that being Mr. Ryan Williams, doing a fantastic job there to win that one. So big movers, though, in that past race in race number 5. Leads Beckett A, the biggest one of those, or one of the biggest, I should say, up 11 places to second place. But let's see if we can hear now from Ryan for UWEB. Back to you, Jacob.
Hopefully you can hear us now. I am here with race winner Ryan, and Ryan, we were just saying how much we love each other, but back to the racing. Really good performance from yourself.
Yeah, I'm super happy with myself. Did a good job on the start, mitigating the losses, going down to P3. P1 had an accident with the back marker, then got past the actual P1 and just controlled it from there, pulled a gap. I was a few tenths of a lap quicker. I think I did an incredible job moving through back markers. That was the main thing. Coming on P1, yeah.
Turns out that testing pace was real.
Yeah. Good enough. Super happy. UB 2 wins today.
And who's in the next one?
Yeah, hopefully.
Who is it?
It is our driver called Kurt.
Kurt, can you win?
He's starting from P11, but I'm sure he can.
I'll go ask him. Well done, Ryan. Ryan Williams there, winner of race number 5. Let's head to the front of the grid. If I see Ryan, I will certainly ask him, but I think 11th that side. Actually, I'm on the wrong side of the grid. And also it's raining, so we've got to make this quick. To the front of the grid, we've got Leicester's Oliver Duffel in second place. I'll have a quick chat with him. Second place, Ollie or Oliver? I'm not sure if I asked you before, but you fancy yourself for this one?
Yeah, definitely. Go on poles and eligible, so just got to beat the ones around, see what we can do.
The first of the eligibles then. We've been admiring people's race suits. The guy in the last one had a very nice purple and black combo. The colours on yours, there's no green on your helmet. Is that intentional? Have you got the wrong helmet today? Tell me about it.
Well, just team colours, green and orange, and then went a bit freestyle with the helmet.
Helmet's a bit more personal to you, is it?
Obviously.
Okay. I like that. And how are Leicester doing today? Obviously, this is the last race of the day. What are we looking like?
Not looking great. We've definitely looked better, but we had a few decent results. Sean did well in the last one for the A team, and the B team have done all right. So hopefully we can finish on a high.
And are you at all worried about the rain?
Nah, it's lovely.
Slippery flag showing on the digital.
It'll be fine. Keep it pinned.
Love it. All right then. Yeah. Ollie Durfel says keep it pinned. Finn, you've already been out today. I've already spoken to you. What are you doing here?
I just enjoy driving BUKC, obviously.
Love it. We were talking about your helmet earlier. Is it a Spider-Man thing, a basketball thing? What's the intention?
It's Spider-Man, yeah. A lot of people get confused because I did it myself. I just put vinyl stickers on. And on the back I got a little bit lazy, so it does look a bit like a basketball. But I did put a spider on, I think, that side.
There it is. Yes, there it is, sports fan. A Spider-Man helmet. Right, I've done talking to you. I've talked to you too much this weekend. Let's go and find out who else we've got. Nice Silver Arrows helmet over here. Who have we got?
Tristan K. I'm ineligible anyway, so...
Tristan, never mind then. I'm going to go find somebody who's really in this championship to talk to. Are you eligible for this one?
I'm not.
Go away. You're not eligible. He is? Who is? I'll go for this gentleman by here, because I like the colours on the helmet. Who are you?
Imperial A, Manuel.
Oh, of course, Manuel. We've seen your other driver. I was talking, actually, about the names in your team. You've got an exotic mix of names.
We do. I guess Imperial is a very sort of international university, and the Asian diaspora is, prevalent in our institution, so we tend to have sort of more diverse names, yeah.
Very eloquently put as well. What are you hoping for here, Manuel?
To my knowledge, I think there's a lot of ineligibles ahead of me, so I'm probably second and third on the road. We have 2 fourth places before, so if I have another fourth, I think we'll put us in a decent result.
All right then, well, all the best achieving that 4th place. You're ineligible as well. Everyone's ineligible in this. You're not eligible. Are you eligible? What? Oh, it's too late now. I'm having a chat with whoever this is. Who are you?
Dylan. From UE.
From you, of course, yes. In the UEC, is this?
Yeah, UEC, yeah.
And what are you expecting from this race, Dylan?
Not a lot.
No?
No. I mean, I've never raced in the rain, so I kind of hope it doesn't rain.
It's going to rain. You see that flag on the digi-flag?
What that means?
That means it's a slippery surface, and it's not because people have been pouring grease all over the track.
Right. Well, this is going to go terribly.
Okay. I'll probably not. I won't speak to you then. I'll just go and find somebody who's...
Can you tell race control to look the other way, so I don't get any penalties?
No.
That's not.
No, I can't do that. Sorry, mate.
It's all good, thank you.
Is anyone looking forward to the rain? No, too late. They've started their engines. They can't hear me. This is the last race of the day. Back to John in the comms box.
Last race of the day then, last race of the season, and potential for a bit of sprinkles out there. And we're not talking about cupcakes, the rain potentially coming in here at Clay Pigeon. We know it's a bit of a microclimate here at Clay, so when the clouds fall, they really do fall. And let's see if any rain does show itself. As Jacob catches up with Dante there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Drivers heading on round then. As we said, Manuel eloquently put there. Maybe Jacob could learn a few things from him. Right then, grid for the last race of the season here in the Inters class. Coventry H and Leicester A are on the front row with Coventry F directly behind their teammates there on row number 2, along with Lancaster C. Southampton D and York B are there on row number 3. Row 4 will have Warwick D and Leesbeck at 8, then Imperial A and UWEB round out the top 10. Watch out for them there on the outskirts of the top 10. Liverpool C and Edinburgh B there on row number 6. And then carry on round at Birmingham C, Leesbeck at B, UWTSD A, UWEC, Leeds C, Cardiff B. The UWC driver not too confident for this one. Let's see how they can do. Surrey A, Hertfordshire A, and there are a lot more drivers on this grid. I'll try and run you through them before we go to the race start. Surrey D, Birmingham B, UWE D, Warwick B, Imperial C, Derby B, Coventry G, Nottingham Trent C, Cardiff C, Reading F, Exeter B, Manmet B, Manmet A, Leeds B. They're going round again. I didn't need to rush so much. The two Manmets then alongside on the grid, followed by Leeds B, Swansea C, and Brighton B. No need to apologise, my favourite producer in the box. There's no need for that. We didn't know they were going to go around again. But anyway, a few more metres to get ourselves sorted then. As we get this race ready to go then, there is the gentleman I remember seeing in qualifying in the Guy Cunnington racing suit. Clearly a bit of a whiz out in a car. Well, he's there on the front row. Let's see how he can do then. Indeed, the Leicester A driver on the outside of the front row of the grid. Coventry H, though, was so quick in qualifying. 41.3, 4 tenths clear. Can they do it in racing conditions? They're off and away then for the final race of the season here in BUKC Inters. It's all scrappy down into Billy's Blind, nearly turning around there for third place. They've all managed to keep it in the right direction, though just about through the S as they go. Will it be the same as they head through this? Hop, skip and a jump there over the exit curve for the number 78. That's Lancaster C from the second row. Falling down the order here early on. Some moves to the inside there. That was a good one down the inside for the 1-2-4 of Southampton D as they continue to try and fight positions at the front as, oh dear, one driver at the back going for a spin all on their own. Caught on the live stream, I'm afraid. Sorry there, my friend. You have been shamed there on the live stream. End of lap number 1 then, already starting to pull a monstrous lead as more drivers off on the grass on the outside there of the right-hand kink off of Horseshoe. And to the end of lap number 1 then, let's see if this rain starts to fall. It's Leicester A on the number 44, who look to have been the one that aside ahead in the lead of this one, followed by the two Coventry karts.
Yeah, Ollie Duffel to the front of this one, and ooh, look at that braking action. Wrestling the car around the hairpin. Been a bit frantic these first couple of laps, John, but almost settling down now. We've got a number of ineligibles in this one, so it's going to be tricky. But, as round goes, Mr. Bell there. Ollie Duffel is eligible though, very much so. Coventry F are not Finn Armand-Hamling out for his second race of the day, and yes, to confirm, Spider-Man helmet. Didn't ask if you like basketball. You might like basketball for all we know, but a big fan of Spider-Man, evidently. Coventry H as well, I believe, are ineligible. Coventry H is Finn. Coventry F is Dirar El Masri, who I think is eligible.
Okay.
I think is eligible and challenging the lead as well.
Indeed he is, yeah. Piling on the pressure then to the number 44 as they head through lap number 3 of this race. immediately has closed down the 44 of Leicester A. Fastest lap on the last lap for Coventry F in the mid-42s at the moment. So not quite the pace that we've seen earlier on. Certainly not the pace that we saw in qualifying from these drivers earlier on. Now it goes the way of Coventry H in terms of fastest lap, but only just all drivers within half a tenth of a second of each other on that last lap. So all still to play for near the sharp end, and scrapping still going on at the bottom end of the top 10. This is what we watch as they head through the S's section. Lovely to hear from the driver with the Fernando Alonso lid there on the 26 on the grid. That is, of course, Imperial A.
Yes, Manuel Nunes. He's been racing for Imperial for a couple of years now, and very eloquent chap.
He was.
Very, very eloquent. I really like speaking to Manuel, both on and off the track. I'm a big fan of Imperial A, to be honest with you. They're a nice bunch of lads, and it's not the first time I've said it this live stream. And it won't be the last either. Perhaps probably the last time for live stream. You don't want to hear me say that 3 or more times over the course of a couple of hours, but I'll certainly mention it again off the stream.
Another fastest lap then for Coventry H on the last one. They've closed back in on these two leaders, so we do have a three-way fight here for the race win in the last race of the season here in BUKC Inters. And Warwick D not far off of this squabble as well, doing similar times to the three drivers ahead. Only about a second off of this squabble, and if they do continue, if they do start to trade places here, holding each other up, maybe we can see the 118 get involved as well. But then the gap back to 5th place is huge of Imperial A, a further 4 seconds or so as we're side by side for the lead.
Yeah, there are Al Masri up the inside of Oladuff. Not quite this lap. Looked like he had a bit of overspeed on him there, but he settles in, and there's a yellow flag as Harrison replaces that cone for the umpteenth time. There's Sam Taylor, pace car driver, and into the hairpin they go then round for another lap. There are Al Masri seems to have some pace here. Finley Ahmed Hamlin, we know, has pace. He won that race earlier in a battle with Calvin Taylor in the ineligible Coventry. So I think that's what I thought. Dira was ineligible actually, and I think he's indeed going to score some points in this one. I think the 118 as well of Warwick D is ineligible. Couldn't quite tell you who is in that one for sure. We think it might be Dorset Smith, but don't hold me to that, please.
We'll wait and see as he comes around. Hopefully joins this battle pretty soon. See if anything can make us spot who that driver is. Late on the brakes there from the 44, seeming a little bit crossed up under braking, but carrying the speed through nicely. That's often is the case with a lot of the corners here. It's about sort of using the rear of the car under braking to help rotate into the corner, carry as much speed as you can through to the exits, because there's not really many corners here where you go from a corner straight into another corner, as that's a big off for one of the drivers. Is that one of the Leeds Beckett drivers?
It was indeed. We've got reports of rain. So yeah, Leeds Beckett were in 10th and 11th. So
one of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully they've not come together. That would not be ideal.
No, absolutely not. And there you go. It's the B team dropping down the order, which I would assume is the preferred one.
Maybe. I mean,
not for the guy in the car, but
neither of them do. But
if you are,
they had to choose.
Yeah. If I had to choose,
New purple lap time, though, from the 42 dead for Coventry F. So despite reports of rain, more lap time being found out there from the driver in second place. He continues to put the pressure on to your leader of Leicester A. No swaps, though, at the front of the order yet. They've been pressing on together really nicely here, to the detriment, really, of Warwick D, as they still try and close in on this leading battle. But a little mistake there down into the first couple of corners from the Coventry F driver. He makes that time back up on the exit, looking to mount a charge here to take the lead of this race. Yellow flag, so down into the hairpin. Of course, with that Leeds Beckett driver off, they'll be repairing the barriers down there at the hairpin. So at least for this lap then, one of the big overtaking opportunities neutralised for our top three, but all dealing with the seemingly changeable conditions pretty well.
Don't seem to be missing out on too much grip. We said we had the slippery surface flag out on the Digi flag to start this one, because there were spots of rain. I could feel it as I was out there delivering my interviews. Around to the outside, Dira has another look. I think he's got better middle end on the engine of that car, because he seems to get about halfway down the straight and think he fancies it, whereas elsewhere on the circuit he doesn't seem to be as close. Although we haven't seen him have a go down into the hairpin over the last few laps due to yellow flags. He's not close enough this time either, but much tighter line through there, and maybe he'll look to utilise that next time around into the horseshoe. Maybe they'll just work together for a while.
they're quite comfortable in these three. I don't think Finn is going to challenge Dira at all, especially not with Dira being eligible for points and Finn being the captain of that university team. Yeah, I'd imagine Finn will only get involved as and when he has the chance to overtake Ollie Duffel. And I would say in advance that Finn is very much the kind of person who would be doing that fairly and squarely and not looking to influence the race results in any way with any particular.
Good to see. He's driving well out there. 41.8 now. First driver to drop down into the 41s is the number 128. Pressing on very nicely, and like you're saying, I reckon probably we'll sit back and just watch. He'll be hoping that the 28 can go for a move down the inside, and that opens him up to try and battle with Leicester A. If he can then get in front of Leicester A, acting as a bit of a rear gunner, as you saw with a couple of the other teams earlier on, and maybe can just try and back the rest of the drivers up and let his teammates scamper off to a nice race victory. Thinking about the inside line again there down into Billy's blind is the Coventry F driver. Can't get it done that time. Again, goes a little bit wide. Has to sit back into second place once more. But already chasing down some back markers then. Oh, it's been a poor last lap for Lancaster C. They're tumbling down the order. 6 places lost on the last lap for Lancaster C. Down from 6th into 12th place. And this is Swansea C that the drivers are trying to get past. The number 80 round the outside goes to 28 of Coventry F, and he's going to get potted out on the outside. Up and under goes Coventry H. Coventry both trying to make their way through, but it's only going to work for one of them. Up to the lead goes Coventry F.
Yeah, struggled to get past the number 80 Swansea C there. Bad news for Leeds Beckett A. They weren't the ones tumbling down the order when we saw that car in the barrier earlier, but they are down to 19th from 10th now, so this isn't Beckett's race. Someone else in the barriers there.
It's on the outside of Billy's blind, isn't it? Yes, it is.
It is, yes. Looks like they've tried to hang around the outsides and realised that they're going to run out of road. If you do that, that's our race leaders going through, and hopefully this car can rejoin nice and safely.
Looked like a move there into the S's on the yellow flags there. Couldn't quite see who that was, but they'll be hoping that neither could the officials at the side of the racetrack.
Yeah, Finn Ahmed Hamling all over the back of Ollie Duffel now. As you said, John, he probably will want to make that place up if he can and give a little bit of protection to his teammate out in the lead. Dirar El Masri leads this race and has a half a second advantage over Oliver Duffel last time round. 3/10 back to Spider-Man helmet of Finn Ahmed Hamlin, coming down towards the hairpin now. They're a bit too spaced out. The Warwick D is still in the conversation. I think a little bit more back marker drama, and we'll see this become a four-car battle for the lead. Manuel Nunes in the Imperial A, I think, is a bit far off. He's further 7 seconds back, or rather 5 seconds back, so that's leader, rather than interval timings that we're seeing on the screen. With 2 ineligibles, though, that is net third for Manuel Nunes, and Edinburgh B, Alistair Murnson, who needs a result in this one. After that last race retirement for Edinburgh B, in a handy position in 6th. We think that they're going to get points for position for that as well, John. I would need to confirm with race control, but yes, it does sound like the kind of issue that would get points for position in my amateur opinion.
Okay, it was a good last lap from Warwick D, exactly the lap that they needed as these two cut through a couple more back markers. A personal best of a 41.8, 3/1000ths off of the fastest lap of the race set earlier on by Coventry H. So Warwick D, impressive lap as they continue to try and close in on these two as they're going side by side across the line. Then through into second place go Coventry H. They get the move done and they just about close the door here on the exit of Billy's blind. But down to third go Leicester A then, and there is the 118 of Warwick D joining the party as they head down into the hairpin. Big defensive manoeuvre there from Coventry H, exactly what we thought was going to happen. Up and under, trying Warwick D then. They'll be on the outside as they head into the horseshoe. They'll try and get that momentum through. They'll try and go around the outside. They can make this done. It's a great move. Not happy with the bit of argy-bargy there in the mid-corner from Leicester A. Either way, up into third place go Warwick D with a fantastic move.
Yeah, really good. He gives a thumbs down to the contact there and has the inside line here, and Oliver Duffel quite rightfully concedes. There's a back marker to contend with for Finn Ahmed Hamling. Is he going to get the better of him into the chicane? I think he very much wants to and does. That's the 76 there, struggling for pace. And will the Warwick car duck up the inside? No, Oliver Duffel will, and takes the back marker as well. Cut back is on for Warwick D, but Oliver Duffel reclaims third place.
D trying the up and under. He's got it.
Not for long.
And
so he points him back through, clearly feeling like he maybe bumped him out the way a little bit there.
That's fair enough then. From an ineligible driver as well, I very much respect that.
Yeah, that's respectful driving there from the driver behind the wheel of the Warwick D kart. I don't know what that hand gesture was from the 44. It looked like he was wanting some food.
I've no idea.
Maybe he became Italian.
I don't speak sign language, unfortunately. And several of these drivers are apparently well versed.
They are.
So yes, I wouldn't want to hazard a guess as to what they're trying to say to each other. Coming down to the hairpin then, no moves this lap. Finn Armid Hamlin has a little bit of a buffer now in second place, where he is looking to protect that lead for Dirar Al Masri, who's now a second and a half up the road in front. Going very well for Coventry F. It's the kind of result that their D team could have done with earlier on in the day, to be honest with you.
But Orna in the live chat who said that inside cone in turn 1 deserves a holiday. I hope that inside cone gets danger money, to be honest, where it's placed. And someone's really gone off there into the barriers down at Billy's blind. Backwards there into the barrier on the outside of the track. So yellow flags in the first section, not yellow flags to there though. Place change for second. Through goes Leicester A then on Coventry H. Gets the re-overtake done. Straight back down the inside though go Coventry H. Not waiting around for that manoeuvre to reopen itself. They get it back done. 3 wide on the exit. Warwick D going round the outside of both of them. Fantastic racing between these three here. We've still got just over 10 minutes left to go in this one. It's all chopping and changing for second place. And who's benefiting most from this? It's Coventry F. 2.5 seconds was the gap at the start of this lap. It's surely going to be more than that as they head through onto a new lap of this race.
Yeah, Dirar El Masri is a mile away from this battle as we get slow into the first corner. Looks like Fernando is down there repairing the barrier. Yes, change in second place. Finn Armid Hamlin is going to want that back to provide that protection for Dirar out in front. And
to be fair, just fighting it has provided that protection. Look at the gap now.
Absolutely, but a bit more fighting than go miss either. There's still 10 minutes left of this one, and there's good pace in that 118 kart. There's good pace in the 44 as well. The more battling Finley can do here, the better the protection. As the 24 there is next to be lapped. That's lead B. Couldn't tell you who's in the lead B kart, unfortunately. But to the outside they go there, and Warwick D tuck up the inside. Crucial for their hopes of keeping ahead of both Coventry H and Leicester A, who follow Coventry H through past the Leeds kart.
Yeah, good forceful move from Warwick D to put themselves ahead and waste as little time as possible, but sadly for them anyway, Coventry H and Leicester A both chucked up the inside down at the hairpin, so not too much time gain there for Warwick D. I will say on that last lap, they did close in ever so slightly once again, down to 4.1 seconds. What's it going to be like when they cross the line this time of asking? Back up to 4.3, so just trying to manage that gap as there's another driver off there down at Billy's blind, was nearly up and out of the car there as they were still rolling back. But they've got it sorted. Anyway, it's now chasing down a couple more back markers here are Warwick D. It's the 74. They're all over the back of, going to the outside line here in the hairpin. That's not the place to be, and they're going to get overtaken because of it. Down the inside go Coventry H. Once again, trying to tell the driver to let them go, but he gives them the thumbs up and then forces him wide. Oh dear, Warwick D up the inside. Through goes Leicester A as well. Sadly, Mr. Bell not listening to you there, Coventry H, and losing a couple of positions because of it.
He's been in the wars, isn't he? There's a thumbs down there. He's going to need a dictionary to understand everything that's going on in that Warwick D car. As up the inside goes Oliver Duffel. Oh, that's not come off from him at all. He's very wide, and Finn Armid Hamlin benefits from that as well, from quite a long way back. It was a big lunge, and it's not paid off for him. The 74 car is a back marker, so don't think he'll lose out another position, but misjudged under braking, I think, and perhaps there is a few more spots of rain than Oliver Duffel realised down there.
Indeed, well, that failed manoeuvre and also the getting past back markers for the rest of the drivers involved in this triplet, again giving more breathing room to Coventry F out in the lead. Another spinner there down in the middle section of the circuit. They're trying to get back underway as quickly as they can, up to 5.8 seconds now between the 28 and the 118 as Coventry H look to press on back towards Coventry D. to be fair, Coventry 8's on that last lap, still within 1/10 of a second of the fastest lap of the race so far. So clearly the conditions not changing too much out there as the clouds continue to roll over. Doesn't like too much rain though. It's falling out there on this clay Pigeon Raceway.
Tell you what, there's an almighty battle behind this for 5th position as well. Edinburgh B, Alistair Morrison currently up in 5th position, but he's on a great battle with UWTSDA and Imperial A's Manuel Nunez. Those three are chopping and changing positions just as much as the three we're watching here now, and I think we're cutting back to them. Indeed we are. Sorry, that was side by side for a second, and here we go then. There's 76 is who we're looking for. No, it's the 67 UWTSDA who've now got ahead of Edinburgh. Oh, that's getting a bit feisty down there.
That's one way of putting it. Move has been made though down to the first corner then. Coventry H through on Warwick D. Wide go Warwick D. Maybe a bit of assistance there from the Guy Cunnington Racing branded driver. Through goes Leicester A anyway into 3rd place. So 2 positions lost then for Warwick D as we cut back to this battle further back. There's Edinburgh B. They've lost out the place now to the University of Wales Trinity St David A. So up to the top 5 go UWTSDA. I think that's the highest we've seen that team all day.
Yes, there's 1 or 2 ineligibles for UWTSDA, okay, so I couldn't tell you if they're ineligible or not for points in this one specifically. But I will find out if they factor into this race any further than they already have. Edinburgh B, obviously one of our title contenders, they'll be looking to get as many places as they possibly can. And Imperial A looking for a strong finish as well. I think Manuel said that the rest of his team had finished 4th and 4th, so on for a strong result in the round overall.
It's going to be a strong result, yeah, very interesting. Penalties come through for Leicester A. Penalty for contact for themselves, so they'll lose a few positions at the end of this one, of course. But they're not eligible to be scoring any points, but they still want to get to the sharp end at the end of this one. Either way, they've got themselves a penalty. They did take the fastest lap of the race 2 laps ago in this one, down in the 41.8, beating out Coventry H's previous time by about 0.04 of a second. So the press have gone well, good pace, battling in with those 3 at the sharp end, but getting themselves a penalty for their troubles.
Yes, I think multiple contact is 2 places. I'll just double check on that, which would promote Warwick D, who are ineligible, and UWTSDA.
Yeah, plus 2. Sure. Plus 2, multiple contact.
Plus 2, indeed. So yeah, Oliver Duffel is currently 3rd place. Ideally, he'd get past Finlay Armoured Hamley in the Coventry H car, and the 2 places that he'd lose would only be 2 ineligibles, and so he wouldn't miss out points. And he has. Yeah. There he has. We've not picked it up on cameras, but he's back up into 2nd place. Probably a bit far off Coventry F. Durar El Masri has been pretty spectacular, I would say, in this race so far. And there he is, Oliver Duff, back in front of Finlay Armoured Hamley. 2nd place overall, and net 2nd place even after his 2-place penalty, because the 2 people he'll be losing out to penalty-wise are ineligible for points.
Well, maybe not though. Round the outside, trying Coventry H once again. They'll get shuffled out wide there on the exit. And retaking 2nd place are Leicester A. Yeah, like you say, fantastic race so far from Coventry F. After they broke away from these 3 earlier on in this one, they've done a stellar job just managing that gap and keeping themselves a good distance away from these 3 battling. Dropped half a second on that last lap though. Leicester A closing them down to 4 seconds now, the gap, but we've got less than 5 minutes left to go. That is still a sizable mountain to climb to try and close down and take the race win away on the road, at least for Leicester A. We're still watching this squabble between these 3, and it's provided action for us to shout about throughout this entire race. It's been a great way to end the season in BUKC Inters.
Absolutely. Been loving it. All the races today I've quite thoroughly enjoyed, actually, John. Reminds me of why we do this.
For the love of the game.
Indeed.
On to a new lap they go then. This will be lap number 30. Coventry F have already led us onto it. There's Duffel doing a good job there, dealing with the pressure in 2nd place, making sure he keeps Coventry H and Warwick D behind him for the moment. There is the number 28 leading the way, and you can just see visibly then the gap between himself and these 3 battling in behind, and also a benefit for himself. There's 2 back markers in between them as well, which will provide him a little bit more comfort as well to hold on to this race win all the way to the checkered flag. Not too long to go, like we mentioned. Will we see these drivers shuffle around anymore for the rest of this one? We'll wait and see. It looks as though in the battle in ahead as well, the UWTSDA driver has done a good job breaking away for the rest of that battle pack. A 2nd clear now, as Duffel tries to clear another back marker down into Billy's blind and does so.
Yeah, solid work from Oliver Duffel. He's got himself a kart between him and Finley Ahmed Hamling now. Only 3 minutes left of this one, so Finn's going to have a bit of a gap to close in if he wants to do anything about that 44 kart. As through goes Warwick D as well. Looks like there could be a change for third before there's a change for second. Great battle these guys have had throughout the race, really. But at the minute, not quite close enough for a move. You are right in saying that UWTSTA have got a little bit of a cushion over Edinburgh B. Aston Morrison now doing his best to score maximum points. The Birmingham C, I'm not sure is eligible. Let me have a look at the 72. It's been mostly ineligible with Simon Ram and Jack Finch. I think Timothy in that kart is actually eligible for points this time around, so he's got the better of Manuel Nunes, who's down to 8th for Imperial. Liverpool C, I know are ineligible, and Lancaster C, I know are ineligible as well.
Indeed, yeah, Manuel battling well there within the top 10. Like you say, should be getting a few more points courtesy of those ineligibles ahead of him. Yellow flag there through the last part of the horseshoe to the left-right kink, and then flying through into the final corner. Oh, caught that back marker a little bit too quickly there. Didn't the driver of Coventry H nearly caught him out there. He had to crank on some steering lock to avoid him. Managed to get through though before they go into the yellow flag section. Another driver off in the barriers there down at Biddy's Blind with only 2 minutes to go. That's a less than ideal way to not only finish their race, but to finish their season there off in the barriers.
These tyre walls have had an absolute pounding today, haven't they? An absolute pounding. But fair play to our observers. They've been putting them back out, reconstituting them, and making sure it's all safe for the drivers today.
Indeed, safety is the #1 priority in motorsport, of course. First thing is safety, second thing is having fun. I think you tick both boxes today.
And the third thing is going fast.
It's true. Some drivers incapable of doing that though, sadly. I won't name names. No. But two of them are on the mic right now.
Arguable.
For you or me?
I'll leave it at I'll leave it at minute left of this one. We may be on the penultimate lap where we were following Dirah El Masri through the hairpin as Oliver Duffy dispatches another back marker in his quest to hunt him down. I think whilst he has narrowed the gap, he's been on pace for the last 5 minutes as Oliver Duffel and has narrowed the gap to just under 3 seconds. Dirah has a couple more back markers to navigate here as he tries to go. Oh, that was very, very sketchy on the run down the hill. We are having 2 more laps, so this is the penultimate lap. Dirah just has to navigate his way past that back marker.
That's big off. That's down at the hairpin.
I've already said that those tyres are about pounding today, but
they're just making sure they get their last ones in before we end.
Getting their money's worth, these drivers, aren't they?
Oh my goodness.
Finn Ahmed Hamling and the Warwick D ineligible driver close by but unable to pass each other due to that red flag, and I think we're back to Dirah there for a moment. A gap now, 2.5 seconds, so he's closing in, but he'll be relieved to see the final lap flag. And are these the same back markers that he's trying to navigate past on the previous lap?
I think it's Imperial C and Manchester Met B. They're battling over 23rd place, so they're in their own squabble out there on circuit. 28 needing to find his way through as quickly as he can.
This is dangerous. Oliver Duffel is right behind him. In fact, look at this.
He's close by. There was 2 seconds before we started this lap. That's only a few tenths.
He's taking a couple of liberties under the yellow flags, but he knows it's the last lap. He knows the last corner is the only place he's going to be able to make this move. Dirah goes to the inside. I think he's happy to stick behind these back markers. Oliver Duffel is just too far behind. I think another lap and we could have had a very different conversation. But Dirah El Masri comes round to win race 6 of BUKC Inters. Oliver Duffel home in second place. He'll drop 2 positions behind 2 ineligible drivers to keep the points for second place. UWTSD A home in 5th, Edinburgh B solid points for Aston Morrison in 6th.
Great way to end the racing action here from Clay Pigeon then. Great way to end the season for the driver behind the wheel for Coventry F. A really good finish there. Was managing the gap super well as the rest of the 3 squabbled in behind, and Leicester able to get clear of Coventry H, and Warwick D scythed on through the back markers, closed into Coventry F there, like Jacob was saying. 1 more lap and maybe we would have had a battle for the race win, at least on track there. But wasn't meant to be for Leicester A. Right then, that is it for the Inters here at Clay Pigeon, and that is it for the British University Karting Championship season in 2025. Thank you all so much for joining us on the live chat for this exciting day of action. Of course, to remind you, make sure you subscribe to the Alpha Live YouTube channel to not only miss out on the BUKC season next year in 2026, but also to not miss the fantastic racing action from across the UK and across Europe, covered by the Alpha Live Productions crew. They always do a stellar job, so make sure you hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of that. But what a way to end the race then. Let's talk you through the full results then from race number 6. Coventry F winning that one on the road, followed by Leicester A, then Coventry H, Warwick D, UWTSD A in 5th place, and Edinburgh B, Birmingham C, Imperial A, Lancaster C and UWB, your top 10. They were followed by Liverpool C, Southampton D, Leeds Beckett A and Cardiff B. Then 15th place goes to Hertfordshire A, followed by Leeds C, Surrey A and Surrey D, no tail there in 17th and 18th place. Warwick B and Birmingham B round up the top 20, followed by Derby B, York B, Imperial C, Manchester Met B, Cardiff C, UWE D, Exeter B, and then finalising the order were Leeds Beckett B, Nottingham Trent C, Leeds B, Manchester Met A, Reading F, UWE C, Brighton B, Coventry D, and Swansea C. Your 36 drivers there making it to the checkered flag, and we'll soon hand down to Jacob in the pit lane when he's ready to talk to some drivers. But a big thank you from me once again. Thank you for joining us for this BUKC season in 2025. I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed. A big shout out to the Alpha Live crew for putting on such a great show once again, as always. A big thank you to everyone at Club 100 for making the BUKC possible. What a fantastic opportunity it is for university age drivers to get involved with some proper racing in the fastest arrive and drive karts in the UK. Well, my name is John Ratcliffe. Thank you very much for joining us here on the live stream today. A big shout out to Jacob doing a great job on the commentary and the interviewing as well. Let's hand down to him for the final time.
And here we have our last race winner of the UKC 2025, Dira Al-Masri. Dira, congratulations. You didn't know you won.
Thank you. I don't know what to say. I kind of told everyone I really wanted to win this last one because I bottled it a buck more. And I'm just glad to have done it, to be honest. And also on the road as well, no ineligibles or nothing. It was a great feeling. I'm very happy.
Everyone could be here.
And a solid drive as well. Great pace throughout the whole thing. You got clear of Ollie and Finn, who I assume you realised was at least going to be battling with you. But yeah, once you got clear, didn't look like they were going to catch you until that last lap. I don't think you realised how much those last two back markers were slowing you up.
Yeah, I didn't want to make the move because I knew there was like 1 or 2 laps to go. So I was like, if I just stick behind them, surely they can't close that much. But he did. But again, luckily, the straight at the end, I managed to just about keep it together and go home to win.
And there was a hairy moment, I think, penultimate lap, where you tried to go around the outside of them on the straight.
Yeah. I was thinking of it, but then I thought, let me not try and get myself binned, and let me just finish first and then see what happens. And luckily, it worked out. So
yeah, there you have it, a race win. And I believe you're first in the BUKC?
Yeah, it is my first win in the BUKC, yes.
Well, congratulations, a great finish to the day for the Coventry team.
Awesome, thank you very much.
There we have it, Dira Al-Masri, our last race winner, BUKC 2025. That's it for our live stream. We've had a great season at BUKC 2025. I hope you've enjoyed joining us for the last 2 events that we've held at GYG and here at Clay Pigeon. We're back with a live stream for the 24-hour race, so join us there in June at Teesside. But Alpha Live are back next weekend, I believe, Stu, for plenty more live motorsport action. See you then.
Oh, were you now? Okay.